Westminster, I think, is a best, is a nicer, better dealership.
They do all of our service. They come and get the cars and deliver them. I mean,
what a beautiful dealership.
They do Stephanie.
Which dealership? Mercedes-Benz Westminster. Have you seen it?
Oh yeah, that's a beautiful place. Huge.
I think it's the nicest dealer in town. It's beautiful.
She has a new. I got rid of my Ferrari, thank God, and I was able to cash in California because it was a good wholesale market for it. So I got 2 Mercedes. She got this 300 coupe, it's called. The coolest little car. Have you ever seen them?
The C300?
Yeah, the one. Yeah, and it's round.
Those things all butt.
They're really cool. They're really cool.
I mean, car, yeah.
You know, we didn't set out to buy 2 new Mercedes. We just wanted to get rid of the other cars. So we had photos and the VIN number and all the service records when we went to California for vacation. And the guy said, you know, we'll give you a better deal, really. You just take 2 cars off our hands.
Imagine that. I've never heard a salesman say otherwise.
Yeah. Well, but that's good though. I mean, what I'm saying is that I got more wholesale out of it.
Sure.
I got real value.
But the C300 is not that expensive of a car. It's a very reasonable, relatively
45
grand.
50.
Compare that to
like hers was 50.
Compared to that, like a Chevy Impala or something. That's the same price.
Well, wait. No, hers might have been more. Hers is it's a 300 though. It isn't a 4, so it might. Is that what the price is?
Yeah, but it's ridiculously cheaper when you get for that car.
Oh my God,
it's a luxury car.
And I got an S550 AMG. Oh. Yeah. So it is this one here.
They call that the Ferrari.
It is such
You get a little bit of trouble with that one.
But it blends in. It doesn't look
man and
it's a monster.
It literally blends. It's gray. It's really calm looking. It doesn't look nasty at all.
What year is that one, Tom?
They're all new.
Yeah, that
17s, I mean.
You gotta love that 550.
And then call track up there on the top.
Crazy power.
And that's just for the calls.
So I don't even drive it hard because I have my SUV. But it was either that or, I don't know, I just thought it was better to just get the value out of that other thing because I couldn't sell it here and there was only one person to wholesale it to. So no matter what dealer you went to, you got the same price.
I know Mark at Ferrari, at the Ferrari store.
Yeah, I've had 2 Ferraris from him and a Bentley. So,
what's his last name?
Destiny.
Destiny. It starts with a D. I never remember his name.
And then Bill Stewart's the owner.
I haven't talked to Bill in a while.
They had a nice charity thing with Denver Polo last weekend.
They do that a lot.
Yeah. I went to the one the year before.
They're really good. They're good people. They really are. I mean, you'll never get a great deal. Well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, for Denver, it's a great deal, but they're the only game in town, you know.
Yeah, you got to play their game. Yeah.
You okay? Headphones are good?
Yep,
Okay,
good.
Sorry, all these wires.
That's my iPhone.
Yep.
I would have never owned a Ferrari.
So I don't think I mentioned
Ryan Crosby. Nice to meet you.
Well, you drove on I-25, I-70 yesterday, you see all that smoke? So I run to find out what that smoke was. Man, it's freaking huge cloud. I couldn't believe it.
Okay, way to, you guys are streaming the show now.
Yep.
That's different.
That's your camera there. So you'll be on, and I'll show you I'll show you what I'll pull up.
Where's my pen? I'm just kidding.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Here to help you solve problems, to answer questions, to take complaints, to make your life a little easier. All you have to do is call 303-713-TALK or 303-MARTINO. Now, by the way, 303-MARTINO works 24/7 around the clock. We take your calls and we will get back to you. That's 303-MARTINO, 303-627-8466. When we're on the air, we'll come and we'll answer it. Today is car day. You know how this works. We don't force you to talk about cars. If you want to talk about cars, you call. If you have other problems, we'll still take those as well. All right? So all you have to do is call. 303-713-8255. So it is car day. Today we have Kevin Calkin from Sheridan Auto Tech. We have Mark Machowski from Budget A1 Transmission and Auto Repair. And we have Bryant Grossi from Lakewood Auto Electrics. And so let's talk, or Auto Electric, and let's talk about anything you want. Let's go to the phones, okay? I'll get through these calls. If you have any kind of a car problem, I see it here. We'll talk to you. David wants to talk about an '04 Rubicon, as is. Now, did you just buy it, David?
Yes, sir, I did. The temporary tags expired on the 13th.
Okay. Now, you remember what I said about as is? I don't know if you remember, but I say as is represented. It doesn't mean they can say to you, this car just had a brand new engine put in it, or this car was never driven more than a few miles a day, or this car was owned by a little old lady, or this car is in perfect shape, and then you buy it as is, and you find out none of that is true. You can still go after them, but you have to prove it. Now, when it comes to as is, however, it's very difficult because all they have to say is, we never promised anything. There's the contract as is. What happened in your case?
Yes, sir. So about a month and a half ago, I used to own a 2002 Saturn Vue. Great SUV. It just, reached end of life, over 300,000 miles, so it was time for me to get something new.
I like the Rubicon, by the way. I mean, Jeeps are old technology, but God, they have a lot of popularity. And the Rubicon I like. I mean, if I had to have one, I'd have the four-door. So what happened?
Right, well, so I went to Alcera Chevrolet right there on Bijou and Academy, and went to the used car side, obviously.
What's the name of that dealer, of that Chevy dealer?
It's Alcera Chevrolet. They just got bought out by Mike Maroney.
Outsider?
I'm sorry, Alcera.
Alcera. Okay. Okay. So now it's Rooney?
Yeah, and now they just bought Mike Maroney, I guess, just purchased.
Mike Maroney is one of the largest owners in the country. He's out of Miami.
Okay.
And he owns. My brother works for him down there, or did work for him. So anyway, what happened? What's going on now?
Yes, sir. So I purchased a Jeep. I guess they just set it out on the lot, and they said they needed to do their inspection. So I told them, yeah, absolutely, I'll buy it. All
right, well, let's get right to it. You bought it. Let's just get right to it. What is wrong with it?
Yes, sir. So the frame is rusted out so bad. I was driving home from work.
Well, did you have this checked out by a shop that would have put it on a lift and looked at it?
No, sir, I did not. I trusted the dealership.
But when you say you trusted them, what exactly did they say? What representations did they make?
They said they were going to do an inspection to make sure it was good to drive.
Okay, and it is good to drive.
No, not anymore.
Well, hold on. Are you saying it was not good to drive when you drove it off the lot?
From a few Jeep experts that I've spoken to, that's correct, sir.
What does it mean it wasn't good to drive? What does that mean?
Meaning that the frame rust was so bad at any time the frame could have buckled while I was driving.
I don't believe that is covered under normal safety standards. I think that, and I think it's probably an exaggeration, but did the frame buckle?
Not the whole frame, but the back left of the vehicle, the rust is so bad that the control arm dropped while I was driving.
That sucks. How many miles on this car?
And what year is it?
Yeah, 04.
109,000, and it's a 2004.
I got to tell you something. Unless they misrepresented it, you're going to have a very, very tough time.
To be honest with you, sir, I checked under the Colorado Automobile Dealers Association, Section D bullet one says that any damage to the frame or unibody, repaired or unrepaired, must be disclosed. And if they told me the frame was that bad, I wouldn't have bought it.
David, that's not true. Okay? It's just not true, and I know more than you do. Now, damage, major damage has to be disclosed, but not any damage. Okay? So, was it damage, or was it age? In other words, was it worn out because of the climate, or where it was, or how it was used, or was it damaged in an accident? Did you get a Carfax?
Yes, sir. There's no accidents reported on the
All
car.
right,
sir.
if there are no accidents, David, and the reason I'm telling you this is not because I like disagreeing with you, it's because I want you to go into battle with real weapons, not fake ones, because you don't have a case so far. Okay, the fact that that thing had a rusted frame and wore out is not something they have to disclose. Unless they lied to you and said the frame is in perfect condition. I don't know what they said to you and what you can prove they said to you. The only recourse you have with as is fraud. So you're going now automatically, whenever I say that, every single person that has ever called me since the history of this show, 40 years, when I say that, the next thing they say is, well, yes, they did commit fraud. So go ahead and tell me how they defrauded you.
Well, and again, you know, like you said, sir, you know, you've got a lot more experience.
I want to help you, David. Help me help you. Tell me how they defrauded you. Give me some bullets we can use.
Well, yes, sir. They told me they inspected the vehicle.
That doesn't mean anything. I could inspect the vehicle and find it to be in deplorable condition. I inspected it. Now, so what does an inspection mean? I can say, do you know what? I did a 200-point inspection on this car. But I didn't say it was good. I just said I did a 200-point inspection. I could have found all 200 points to be deficient. But so did they say we inspected the car and found it in great condition?
Yes, sir.
Prove it.
It was in good condition.
Prove it to me. Who said good condition? When did they say it? I need to know that. And when we call them and say, you lied to this guy, you said this car was in good condition and it's rotting away, are they going to say, oh, you got me. You got me. Yep, you got me. I did say that, and it really isn't true. Is that what they're going to say, David?
Probably not, sir.
That's what I'm getting at. So how do we prove that they misrepresented that Jeep to you?
You know, I have to tell you, we get cars from the East Coast often at the shop, and there's no visible damage to the vehicle whatsoever, but you pick it up and you look at it from underneath, and just from the air and erosion,
oh my God, it's unbelievable.
It's incredible. Like, you can't take anything apart. Bolts will break. Suspension.
First of all, David, I'm not sure I believe your diagnostic that the frame is going to crack at any time. That frame is so hardy, I would be shocked if it's about ready to snap. So what we have to do, we have to do a few things. First, we have to find out what condition your car is really in. Are you in the Springs?
Yes, sir.
Then I want you to drive by Honest Accurate Auto. And I want you to talk to somebody, either Bola or Jesse or someone, and you tell them, Tom Martino asked if you could do a look over on this. You know, I want to see if it has major frame damage or what you called undisclosed damage. So if it was in an accident or something, or is it just rusty, and is truly that frame ready to crack? So we might want to give them a heads up, Daff. Honest, Accurate Auto in Colorado Springs. The next step we take is if we find some real dirt that had to have been covered up, then maybe we make some calls and go after it. But David, we have to go after them carefully. Have you called the dealer since you found this out?
Yes, sir. I went to them twice.
What did they say to you?
Sold as is.
Okay. Why didn't you get it checked out?
Ignorant, sir.
You trusted them. Now,
yes, sir.
this is not your first car because you had a Saturn, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, truly, David, do you truly believe the frame is ready to crack?
From the information I've been provided through Colorado Jeep Club, some of the guys on there.
Now, see, so we need to get this on a rack. I don't want to hear it. You know, there could be some surface rust.
There could be some surface rust, but what if it's like a safety thing? I mean, like
what?
Something like literally safety. We've got a suspension piece that's literally going to come off, or something like that. Say it's that bad. Is there any recourse whatsoever?
It's supposed to be a safe vehicle, but you know what? It's really funny because the law on that doesn't necessarily address the frame. I mean, it says it's brakes, windshields, steering, basic safety.
Yeah.
Basic and emissions.
My thought on this, Tom and David, is that this is a big dealership. How soon after did you buy it did you notice that the frame had these issues.
Let's do that coming back. We just have to go on to other calls as well. Listen, here's what I want. I need him to get it inspected. That's the main thing. Let's not assume he has something here that he is saying he has. Let's just not assume that, okay? Let's just take it one step at a time, because that's truly what we need to know, what we need to do. Otherwise, we are just guessing at what's wrong with this thing. 303-713-8255. Wink and Wink are bankruptcy attorneys that I hope you never, ever, ever need. But I'll tell you what, if you do need them, you will love the services, Chapter 13 or Chapter 7. You know, the economy is doing great, but some people, they're unemployed. Some people have divorce, death in the family, major medical problems. Winkandwink.com, 303-410-1720.
We see some cars that come in.
Or body oils,
or
But what's the likelihood that that frame is ready to snap?
Yeah,
big
not
giant
likely,
beam.
not likely, right? And it's a box frame, so you
Well, he's probably
can
looking at
fix
the
that.
control arm being rusted through, thinking that's part of the frame.
But what if it's a safety thing? What if
You
it's
know-
bad enough to where, you know, you can
The
go out
car is
outside?
not, the car is not supposed to be sold in unsafe condition, but they don't talk, that is not covered.
He needs to have it inspected, no way around it.
This was a couple of years ago when the dealership worked where a car got in a wreck and was rusted through, and that
Get Norris, please, can you get Norris from SOS, please? And we are done with the Rubicon, David. He needs to take it to Honest Accurate Moto, okay? And then I want Norris from SOS
the
on.
rear, you hit the brakes real hard trying to stop.
Hallmark Father's Day
Buckled,
cards at your
buckled.
local Hallmark Gold
See, that's-
Crown store.
You buy a car like that, you
Well,
give it to your
Your
kid.
vehicle's 13 years old, how could it be rusted that bad?
So have
Oh, I
we
see.
figured out what's going on with Facebook yet?
Nope. And I checked it this morning,
Put
still
up on
not,
the left and
like I
the
say,
car
I'm
started
on
doing this.
with Mark still, but no, still nothing. Mikey thought he had it, and I sent him an email last night saying it's still the same. So, you didn't, I didn't want to.
Can you delete my login? Can you?
I probably can, but I don't know if I'm gonna get you back. So I'd rather wait till
Why
Monday
can't
till
we
Mark.
assign? How did Mark get a sign up? How did Mark get? I'll just go in under Mark's, just to write it down for me. I'll go in and I'll
I'll write it down.
because he's an administrator. I made him one, so I can easily,
Get under his, yes, I got
he
his
can make me
password.
one. I mean, we can be back to where we were. Let's just eliminate the login. Something happened with the login.
Yeah.
All of the latest advances in appliance technology live so you can see them in action. We sell it, we deliver it, and we install it. Our friendly
Mark, we had that Toyota from your shop. Did that come out okay? You guys,
I guess it was a pin.
it was a short. It was a short.
Where at?
There was a short in the blue and red wire that was taking down the communication network to that
Oh,
computer.
okay.
It wouldn't communicate with engine computer or
And where
transmission.
was the short at?
Under that dash.
Oh, really?
Under the dash, yeah. Yeah, under the dash. We had to untape all the harness that you guys taped. Because we, you know, where it could be. Wow, you know, and so really kind of a tough one. But it came out great.
Okay, good.
You know, the computer that was in there worked okay. And to my surprise, I thought it was going to get that computer after the short.
Yeah.
Fire right out.
Minimized only 1 to 3 days total. Call now and save
Nasty little problem.
$500. 303-619-6273 or
Yeah, he pulled the whole harness out of it. Found all kinds of issues in the harness. Fixed them all. So, that's the other
Like I told Scott,
And then we went back through that to see. We thought, you know what, we probably missed one wire.
Oh, right.
So we went through everything he did and verified it. And
So we never really did verify
it was all right.
sure that he
It was all right.
my
You know, that it made sense. that
We never
somebody did one
That
wire.
Mark signed it under?
Sure.
Yeah.
You know.
under mine.
Oh,
We never really got an absolute verification.
right, the only thing that Suzanne did say she did, but they went through an app, so it wasn't to a direct server, so I don't know how that all works either, so.
I don't even know if they need through that.
Yeah, I don't either. They were on the beach.
Were they?
They were in California at the time, now they're in Vegas.
Huh?
He's winning money. Mark's pretty damn lucky, boy.
Is he?
Oh, man.
With what?
Good gambler.
Gambling, I mean?
I shouldn't say lucky, I think he's good.
He's not a shy gambler, is he?
Right, no. No, I think
They didn't build those places.
I think it's not
so
good.
luck is probably not the well, partial luck, but
It's not like
you also
It's just not good at it. I win the first inning and I lose the next two. It happens like that every time.
Because no one ever quits when they're ahead. No one does. They only quit when they've lost their limit. No one has ever gotten a bunch of winnings and said, okay, I'm good. They keep playing until they lose their limit.
I'm playing on house money now.
yeah, that's right. That's what they
It's
say.
in your pocket. It's your money. Yeah.
That's a good term.
Yeah.
House money, but really, it's in your pocket. It's your money.
Just figure I'm not good at it.
What do you mean, poker or what?
I like blackjack and
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Okay, so Norris from SOS Inspections. Norris, what are the minimal safety standards for a car being sold, even if as is? Norris is on our referral list. He does pre-buy inspections, also diagnostic testing for people who are dying to find out what's wrong. He can check the whole system, the whole car, or just an individual problem. Norris, what is the what's the rule on that?
It's kind of vague in the law, but it does state that the car is supposed to be functionally safe as designed and be roadworthy. That means it has to have a good enough transmission to be able to keep up with traffic. The engine has to have enough power to keep up with traffic. The airbags, anti-lock brakes, warning lights, those systems should be functional.
But even if something is tenuous, but it still works, like let's just say he says his frame is about to snap. Now, I don't know if I believe that, but let's just say it is kind of, but it still drives. I mean, it keeps up with traffic and it drives. I don't think they intended this to be a warranty, like on what could happen if he keeps driving. It could snap. Do you?
I think you're right. Yeah, it's more about the car being safe as designed.
And I don't think that people should depend on those when they buy something as is. Do you? I think
no, because it gets really tough if you have to go back on a dealer and go, well, I bought this car knowing the airbag light was on, but now I want to give it back to you because the airbag light was on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of silly.
Norris, what does it cost for a pre-buy inspection?
$180 in the Denver metro area. It goes up outside the C470 circle for travel time.
You go to them.
Rate's $180.
And that's
yep. Wherever it's at, private party, dealership. I was just in Brighton, out by Bar Lake this morning, checking out an 01 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Nonetheless, those things are so popular.
God,
wow.
All Jeeps. All Jeeps are.
They're everywhere in Colorado.
They're golden.
Yeah.
They're golden. Norris, by the way, is at 720-940-4752. You can reach him on the referral list, referralist.com. Let's talk to Al. Al, what's going on with you? Hello, Al.
Tom, how are you doing this morning?
Good. What's going on?
My friend, I would like to make most praises to you and your staff. Daphne, I had problems with cable TV with Comcast, with the temp line going from pedestal to pedestal. The neighbors inadvertently cut the line the first week of April.
And then they extended a temporary line, and you were upset because they never came to bury it.
Correct. They every time I would call, I would get to the wrong department. It never went to through the proper channels.
And then you called us, and we put it in capable hands, and what happened?
Well, Tom, Daphne called me and said that she had emailed your angel at Comcast. That afternoon, a supervisor showed up and apologized for the snafu. He had one of his techs come out and work till 4:30 that afternoon to make repairs on the damaged line. He had another gentleman come out with him the following day, and it was done by noon the following day. All repairs complete, and
how long have you been? How long have you been trying to get it done?
Since the first week in April.
So, thank you for letting us know, Al. We appreciate it. So it pays to listen to the Troubleshooter Show. We do get things done. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. What's going on with Mike? Mike, what's happening?
Good morning, Tom.
What's happening?
Hey, I've got a a quick question about a photo radar ticket.
Yeah.
It's not a radar, it's a photo enforcement program for a red light violation.
Yeah.
And my question is, in the back of it, they clearly state if the picture is, if the person and the driver is not me, send a photo of your driver's license, and they require or request you to provide the name of the driver. So there's no doubt I know who the driver is, but I'm curious whether or not by any state law I'm required to do so.
No, you're not. The only time you're required to answer that is if you're subpoenaed or summoned. You don't have to do anything.
Okay, excellent.
You don't have to. Nope, you don't have to. Now, if they give you an appearance ticket, you got to go to court, or you can settle it. And there's a crapshoot as to whether or not they're going to take you to court. A lot of these photo enforcement tickets threaten but don't take you to court. Some do. It's a crapshoot. And again, a lot of these red light violations, they really piss me off because I get them for stopping to make a right-hand turn. I stop, then I go and make a right turn, and it takes my picture. And I can make a right turn. I get a ticket every single time on Bellevue turning south to Quebec. Every single time. I stop, I make a right. They get me for red light every single time. Do I not stop long enough? Do I stop over the line? I suspect it's something, but I'm not running a red light.
It's 3 seconds. Got to stop for 3 seconds.
Who says?
I heard that the other day.
Well, show me.
Somebody said that.
I've never heard any such thing of 3 seconds. Now, this is what I call talking out our butts, because somebody tells somebody who tells somebody. I want to see that 3 seconds.
I think that's what I heard the other day.
I'd like to see that state law where it says the car must stop 3 seconds. I think you have to come to a full and complete stop. What is 3 seconds? You know, I don't understand this. I'd like to see the law.
So how many times have they taken your picture? How many times has this happened where they take your picture when you make the right?
10.
And you have never responded?
No.
No issues ever?
Not so far, but I'm sure Greenwood Village is going to go through the records right now. Big thank you very much, Mark. Show me a law. I would like to see a 3 second rule, because then I might have to admit I didn't stop for 3 seconds.
It's right here.
What does it say? Where's the law? Give me the CRS on it.
Is that 136 -1? Is that what it is?
Give it to me.
I'll forward it to you.
Forward it to me. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. I'd like to see them fight that when you come to a complete stop and they say, oh, it was only for 2 seconds, not 3. I'd like to see that.
I don't think it can time you. I mean, really, that camera can't sit there and time you, I wouldn't think.
I'm shocked that it's actually written into a law, 3 seconds. What does it actually say? I'll look at it. Just send it to me. 303-713-8255. Ray, what's going on with your Toyota?
Did you say Ray?
Yes, sir.
Hi, how you doing? I've got a couple of things. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
My car was stuttering and stopping and whatever, so I had it towed to Toyota Auto Nation. I've got 2 issues.
So it was towed there, right, Ray?
Yeah, it had to be towed. My wife almost got killed making a left turn.
You know, there's something interesting. Something interesting happens when you tow a car into a place. Do you know what that is?
No.
They're not required to give you a written estimate.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yep.
They can just proceed with the repair, is that correct?
That's right. If you tow it in, you waive your right.
All right. Well,
under state law. So what did they do when you towed it in?
Well, 2 things. Number one, they said after diagnosing what was wrong that I needed new spark plugs. The car's got 120,000. The plugs have never been changed, and I needed a coil and number 3 cylinder. In addition to that, they told me I needed a $600 brake job. And the last time I was in Toyota, they give you one of those inspection sheets, and I had 7 millimeters of...
Okay, so what did you do? What did you authorize?
Well, I only authorized them to change the plugs and replace the coil.
And what did they do?
They did that. They charged me $516, and...
Did you ask him what it was going to... Wait. So they did call and ask you what you authorized, and you authorized, but you didn't ask how much it was.
Well, they told me it was going to be, that kind of money.
Okay, so you agreed to it.
Yes.
So what are you complaining about now?
Well, I watched a video of what it's involved in changing the plugs and everything, and getting to the last 3 plugs is pretty difficult. But they charged me for that coil $145.
Yes.
go online and they're nowhere near that price. I know they have to make a little bit of a profit.
You know what? I can buy steak for $3 a pound, but I go to Shanahan's and I pay more.
Well, Mark got it cheaper that time.
You know, listen, I'm not trying to make it difficult on you, Ray, but the time to check pricing is before you agree to it.
Okay.
You know, did you call them and say, I'm a little upset? You know, I mean, my car was stranded. You took advantage of me. Did you say anything like that?
No, I did not.
Why don't you call them and see if they'll make an adjustment? Here's the bottom line. I don't disagree with you, Ray. But I never go by what you can buy a part for. I mean, that's ridiculous. You can't hold an electrician, a plumber, or an auto repair tech to what you can find a part for on the internet. And then you, in your mind, you make up your mind what it takes to run that business. Let's see, I can buy the part for this. I would only charge this. But hold on, I'm not taking into consideration the liability insurance. I'm not taking into consideration the business licensing. I'm not taking into consideration my taxes. I'm not taking into consideration my overhead. You know, I love when consumers do that. They find a part online and then do the math in their head, and they decide what that price should be. Fine, Ray, but do it before you agree to it. Okay, before. Because, yes, there are people that are abusive with prices. There is no doubt. No doubt. But you got to check it before you agree to it. We got to take this quick break. You know, as I said, it's fine to be price sensitive. Shop around. But you can't tow something in, agree to it, and then complain. Let's talk about some repairs that will save you money. Flexident. Paintless dent repair. I mean, no one can drill and fill a car cheaper than you can paintless dent repair, because you don't have any paint to worry about. You don't have any blending. If you do not have paint damage, call Flexident. In fact, if you're not sure, Flexident will tell you what they can fix. And then the rest of it has to go to a body shop. You'll still save time and money and add value to your car, because Flexident is like the damage was never there. With all of their skilled techs, they can make it like it wasn't there. Downtime is minimized. Your insurance company loves these guys. And if you're self-paying, it'll be cheaper. 303-619-6273, FlexidentColorado.com. Looking for auto repairs?
How did you guys do with the hail and stuff? Damage on the building?
Killed us.
How did it kill you?
$30,000 worth of damage to the
Where?
building.
To your building?
Oh my God.
Or
No.
bigger than a little bit bigger. I don't know what the
Where
next
are,
size
where,
after.
where, okay, I'll
Killing Quebec.
Yeah. I didn't
Yeah, the closer west, I mean,
Wow.
towards Golden got bigger.
Destroyed. I mean, it has to take cars to
Well,
put
we
inside.
had 2-inch hail.
Are you
On our
Oh.
place, yeah.
I think you had a little worse.
A little further west, it got bigger, yeah.
Colorado Mills is closed till November.
Pool table, billiard size.
Yeah.
Do you know that could ruin that entire mall?
Yeah.
You know, it was struggling as
They
well.
may never recover from this.
No,
It was struggling,
some
wasn't
businesses aren't coming back. They're done. They're done.
And that's
How
what
can you
10
close
years
for
old.
6 months?
Wow, but you have insurance that will. Don't you have like a lapse insurance or like downtime that will?
Well, it depends if you buy that. Yeah, business interruption insurance, sure.
Business interruption.
But there's always a limit to it.
Chances are American financing.
I doubt they have a year.
So why not?
What happened to your building?
Oh, it looked like somebody got a baseball bat. It didn't look like hail damage. It looked like somebody got a baseball bat and just
How do I find my? Oh,
as hard as you could on the hoods and of the cars and on the roof, holes in the flat top of, it's a kind of a weird roof that we have. It's not shingles, it's an old gas station, so it has like a rubber roof.
Like a membrane roof.
Right, a membrane, but the rubber's like this. Now it's questionable to me. I didn't see any cracks, but the inspectors came in and they said, yes, you stick your thumb in it, it goes down, that means they compress the membrane underneath, so that constitutes hail damage. So they went for it, but But I don't know if I want to do it, Tom. How does that work? If the insurance company gives me a $20,000 check for roof damage,
Right.
do I have to do that roof? Can I keep that money?
Well, do you have any loan on your building?
I do have a loan with First Bank.
Well, if you have a loan and it's secured by the building, in your loan papers, it says you agree to do any needed repairs. But if the bank doesn't check, here's what happens. Nothing. Unless they ever have to foreclose, they will sue you for that. That'll be considered fraud. You'll never get out of that. Or if you ever went bankrupt or something.
Now, I held a depreciation amount, too.
Okay, the other thing is, if you ever have other damage, no matter what it is, they're going to subtract that. No matter what it is. If you have future damage at your shop.
To the building.
Yeah.
It can't be like a customer tripping and breaking their leg.
No.
To the building itself.
Any other casualty claim to that building, they will subtract that damage. Because they're going to say your building wasn't worth what it was supposed to be. So it's not leaking.
It's built out of iron.
Why did you get money then? Is it
I
site
didn't
damage?
work for it. The guy came over and he said he looked at the cars and he looked at
No, I'm talking
everything
about
else.
the roof. The roof, you got to check specifically for the roof.
For the roof, the signs,
Okay.
a shed.
You got actual cash value for the roof, not the replacement, right? The ACV, that's what they write first. Then they write the actual cost after, the difference. So on the ACV, is that roof leaking at all?
No. And it's not going to.
Is it a flat roof?
It's a flat roof.
Can you have it coated?
Yeah, I coated it a couple of years ago myself.
How much?
$800.
You could do that. You could just code it and say that's all it needed. The fact that they paid too much, unless they protest, but they could subtract it in the future. I mean, you're not forced. Your bank, the only time it would be an issue with your bank is if ever you were behind on a payment or they wanted your building, they would call that a breach and they would foreclose.
Now, what if they made the check out to me and to First Bank?
Well, then
and I deposited it in First Bank, and they let the deposit go through.
So now the funds are just there.
So I figured I'd keep half, and I'd put half of it to my principal with First Bank in case anything ever happens. Say, hey, you got your half.
Well, it's not their half; it's their whole, because it's for the property. But you don't have to do that. If you're going to keep it, just keep it. So you're telling me the funds are now usable? They actually endorsed that check and deposited it.
Yeah. They didn't even endorse it. I deposited in my account, and I figured I might get some stripes.
Okay.
It just went right through.
Okay. Well, then in the future, the worst that can happen, they're going to ask, were the repairs done? And if you do the coating and it's fine and it's not leaking, sure, I did. I mean, it's really, what they care about is the value of the building. That's all they care about. Yeah. The insurance company, on the other hand, will probably deduct future. Probably.
If there's hail damage again, they wouldn't cover it unless
they won't cover anything.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. Here to help you solve problems and answer questions and take complaints. So, it is car day, but we'll talk about anything you want. Although we have a lot of car questions. Ben, what's going on with you? We have Brian Grassi from Lakewood Auto Electric. We have Kevin Kalkin, Sheridan Auto Tech, and Mark Machowski, Budget A1 Transmission and Auto Repair. What's going on, Ben?
Hey, Tom. How are you?
Good, man. What's happening?
So talked to you, I think, Monday.
Oh, man, I felt so bad for you.
Yeah.
What happened was, Daphne, is she there? Is this the one that kept hanging up, Daphne Longmont?
Yes, they kept hanging up on me.
Ben, here's what happened. Another problem with an as-is truck. You bought a truck as-is. The engine went out. How long after you bought it?
It started having symptoms the day I bought it. And I brought it
can I have that paperwork, please? And then I told you, unless they specifically misrepresented something, again, I'm going back to the specifics of the sale. As is means just that, as is. But it also means this, and I have to clarify. As is means as is represented, okay?
Right.
You made the argument that they represented it to be in good condition based on an inspection report. So I'm looking at the inspection report, and it says Longmont Ford used vehicle inspection sheet. Under steering and suspension, it says shocks/struts, okay. You said that was a misrepresentation. They say power steering hoses, okay. Oh, no, it says they leak. Never mind. Okay, I want to go to the next thing. Any what is it? What is this light? Mill light?
Malfunction indicator light.
Okay.
That's
a mill light.
Check engine light.
All right. So they say it's okay. The engine noise and performance, okay. These are the ones you highlighted where you believe you were misrepresented. The transfer case, okay. So let's go through these one at a time. I want to know, how did they misrepresent the shocks and struts?
Those ones are pretty basic, but
how?
The shop I brought it to, they said it was recommended for a replacement at this point at 100 miles. So
that's not misrepresented.
I don't have a huge argument there.
Okay, next one. Engine lights, malfunction lights.
Right. So the malfunction, they got codes 2 days later at the shop.
No, I'm talking about at the time you drove that truck, were the lights on?
No, it wasn't.
No misrepresentation there. They're claiming when they checked it, there were no lights, and they're right. So let's talk about engine noises and performance. When you were driving at home, did you hear a noise?
I did.
Okay, why didn't you take it back?
I talked to the salesman to ask him. So I was told there were some oil leaks, and I said this might have something to do with the oil
because
leaks
it says on here, it says under engine noises and performance, it says okay. Now, I would take that to mean that they don't think there's any unusual noises or performance. Was there unusual noises or performance? Were there unusual noises and performance? What?
Yeah, not during the test drive, but right after I accepted the vehicle and purchased it. Yes, on the way home.
Then they can claim when they checked it, it was okay. In other words, what I'm looking for is something that you can get them on, truly get them on, because all they have to say is, you know, you even admit during the test drive it was fine. It happened on the way home, and that's what you call SH. Something happens. Okay, now let's go to the next one. Transfer case. How did they misrepresent it says okay. Now guys, what do they mean by transfer case okay? It's not cracked?
Means that it's working, that it has four-wheel drive, two-wheel drive, it has all its ranges. It's I would assume when they say also that it's okay is that it's not leaking.
Because it says under that, it says, here's what it says under that. Transfer operations and shifting, they have leaks, transfer case. They did say that the pan gasket was leaking on the trans, and then it says front differential okay, rear differential okay, CV. But just so you know, between you and me, I wanted to be able to find something for you. You explained your situation to me with your family and stuff, and I really feel badly. This is a lot of money you have to spend, and I don't like that dealership one bit. I'm telling you that I wouldn't doubt that they knew about some of this stuff. But the point is that you bought it as is, and I don't see any misrepresentations. So how did they misrepresent the transfer case?
It's being recommended that it needs to be flushed out because it's very dirty.
Well, okay, that's not a misrepresentation. So
on their inspection or
that's called service and maintenance.
Yes. What was so glaring that they should have told you? Nothing. Because and really, if you had it purchased, a pre-purchase exam, what would they have found anyway? What would they have found? What is wrong with it right now? What needs to be done?
An engine replacement is the big thing. Those
Why?
other things were
because
the camshafts and cam bearings have been grinding and have created debris throughout the engine. There's no way to estimate or be able to repair it.
Okay. So it's what they call throwing metal.
Right.
You did an oil analysis on that?
I brought it to a shop, and yes, the shop did that.
They did an oil analysis and found metal.
Yes.
And the metal indicates the cams.
They actually took it all apart. Again, I spent over $400 for them to take it apart and have pictures of the scoring, and I asked in their opinion.
What would cause the scoring, guys? What would cause the scoring, guys?
Just lack of proper maintenance, overheating, anything.
Lack of oil, starvation oil?
Just not changing oil on proper.
Was it knocking? Was it making an engine sound like a knocking sound at all, or did it sound normal?
It didn't sound like a knocking. It was, I mean, almost like a grinding. But yeah.
And it didn't smoke out the tailpipe.
How do we help this guy? We can't, really. I mean, I don't know how to help him. How much are they saying this engine's going to cost to rebuild?
I mean, I've only got the one quote from the shop. I brought this.
How much?
But a new one in is $9,300.
Guys, does that sound right?
Sounds a little high.
What is it?
Sounds
what
high.
kind of? To what?
And that's a new one with warranty.
What vehicle is this?
This Ford Expedition, 09.
Ford 09 Ford Expedition.
Yes.
Guys, what
engine's in it?
It's 5.4 Triton.
Triton, yeah.
Is that?
That seems high.
Yeah.
That seems high.
To rebuild it, why wouldn't you have it rebuilt?
I mean, as far as I know, I'm just being.
How much would it cost to rebuild this engine, guys?
You know, it's probably $5,000-$6,000 repair, but you know, we have some sources. You can get a low mileage engine.
Replace it.
Yeah.
For how much?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Half the price.
Or other options. So.
Okay, what we recommend, since the truck has miles on it, how many did it have on it?
108,000.
Maybe you just buy a low mileage engine and just have it replaced. Don't rebuild anything.
Right. Yeah,
and then that
like
would cost what, $2,500, $3,000, guys?
You're probably in the 4. You know, by the time you get all the extras.
With labor installed and everything like that, absolutely.
Okay, now, I don't think, technically, this place owes you anything. I think you might have paid too much for it. What did you pay for this truck?
$12,000 before all their fees and taxes.
Well, technically...
It'd be an okay deal if it had a good engine.
That's right. That's exactly right. But here's what I don't like. Oh, do I have to take a break? I am sadly over. Hold on. I am so sorry.
This guy, I feel so bad for this guy.
report
is there anything? I mean, I'm not asking for charity. What can we do for this guy?
Just get an engine with low mileage that we can get some sort of guarantee on, maybe a 90-day or even a year warranty, and put a low mileage engine in it. Try to search for one.
I think my notes are on
I'm here. You can talk about them.
Yes,
Okay, here.
I will do that. Yeah.
Like you were saying, Kevin, about 4,000. So if you find a used engine for 2,000, another 1,800 to take it out and put it in.
What do you say was Expedition, right?
What's that?
Expedition?
Yeah, 5.4.
I'm removing Tom Martino. For your security, you must re-enter your password. Okay, so that's the original. Now listen, would you please get Mark on the phone? Oh, never mind. Let's just do this first. Good year.
Where did Mark go on vacation?
California, Vegas.
I am going away next week. No, I'm not.
Monday.
I'm going Monday to shoot a TV commercial, a national TV commercial. But then
National for who?
Oh, it's just a client, BioT.
BioT. Good stuff, right? Man, I looked into it, but they wanted like $800 to start the process, and I have Kaiser.
Huh?
And I have Kaiser
Oh, no,
insurance.
they won't pay for
So I
that.
went to Kaiser, and I'm like, hey,
They'll pay for
check
the
out my teeth.
No, they'll pay for the no, they'll pay for you. They don't believe it. No one pays for home run replacement because it's not medically necessary. You can grow old and die. Health insurance considers that normal. You grow old and die. You lose hormones, you shrivel up, you get old, you die. That stuff is like cosmetic surgery to them. It's like
But there's a low number and a high number, right, on your teeth.
But they won't do anything.
They won't. Yeah, they told me that my number is perfectly within range.
Well, here's what they're doing. Of course you are, for your age. And it will be within range right up until you die. But, that's like saying for a car with 200,000 miles, without doing anything, the tires are perfect for its age. And the tires could be on steel belts. But for that age, it is right within range. And they're right, it is. But
I see.
They don't believe in replenishing because they think that is cosmetic in nature, and it kind of is. It really is if you think about it. It is unnatural.
Optional.
It is truly
Enhancing.
Because there's nothing that says
when
that a 64-year-old man should have the testosterone and estrogen and all that of a 35-year-old. No one in the world says that should happen.
So I pay $1,500 a month for 3 people at Kaiser, And I talked to my doctor, and I go, dude, hook me up with a little T thing. You know, and look at the numbers.
You shouldn't do just T.
Shouldn't do just T. No.
Unless that's all you need.
Yeah.
But you should look at your whole panel. If you do just T, it could throw off other things. So then you would have to balance that. But, you know, what is your T level? Do you know?
It was like 700.
That's not bad. But it's not bad. But I'm wondering what your estrogen is. What's your estrogen? Do you know?
I don't know.
700 is not bad. How old are you?
51.
Yeah, that's not bad. You're not doing bad at all. It should be around 1,000 to 1,200.
Oh, really?
Well, I'm talking about to be young. I'm not talking about
18-year-old.
No, 30.
30.
And then you want your estrogen. You want your estrogen at about 28 to 35. 28 to 32. And then,
what do you suspect? It's higher? My estrogen might be higher or lower?
do you have belly fat and chest fat?
A little bit belly fat. A little bit belly fat. That's what encouraged me to look into it. Because I swam.
Now I
swam a whole mile this morning.
Yeah.
I rode my mountain bike yesterday from Highland Ranch to my shop.
Excellent.
25 miles.
You know, to
one
get
way.
the most
I work out every day.
So that's wonderful to get the most out of your workout.
But it doesn't
hormones would work, and then diet. But listen, you know, I have a tendency to do. I would be totally high in estrogen, totally. I would be way high and way low in testosterone. I'd be like a little old lady.
Little boobs, growing little boobs.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Okay, let's get this quickly. Ben bought a truck from Longmont Ford, and it really, the engine is crap. Did they misrepresent it? I don't think they did. Did they know it was crap? They could have. Did they overcharge him? Not really. But the fact that he needs an engine sucks, okay? I feel bad for this guy. What can we do for him? You get a used engine, look for a used engine, go to one of our shops, and maybe they can make you a special deal. Here, Ben, that's what you do. We tried calling Longmont Ford, okay? Now, here's what's funny. I don't think Longmont Ford specifically did anything wrong or illegal, and we've not gotten a lot of complaints about them. But we always judge companies on how they handle complaints. And all we were going to ask him is there anything they can do, maybe at cost, or maybe they can do something with another vehicle, or whatever. I swear to God that these people have to be the rudest people on the face of the earth. Or one, I mean, we find companies like this all the time. They literally would say hello to Daphne and hang up on her. Is that, Daphne, is that basically what happened? How many times? About 12 times I counted.
Yeah, I think it was around 12. They would say they would transfer me, and it would
then just hang up.
But then they would say that Pat Grooms, the GM, was in.
And then in the middle of a sentence, she'd say blah, 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 and they'd hang up.
Yep. It just was not a good situation. I called Pat Grooms on Friday last week, and he returned a phone call once and left a message in the middle of the week, but then could not get a hold of him.
Unbelievable.
He actually called me for the first time on Wednesday, and it sounded like he was on vacation. But
what did he say?
Like anywhere else, if you
what did he say?
Vehicle, he just said to call him back at my convenience. Gave no information.
Oh well, call him back.
Yeah, I was.
Would you call?
Yesterday.
Can you call him back now and let us know what he says?
Yeah.
Tom,
give him a back line.
Tom, I do have a note of caution for Ben regarding the 5.4-liter Triton V8 by Ford. If he gets a used one, keep an eye out. There's a spark problem with the spark plugs on that engine.
What?
That they seize, and you can't remove the spark plug. And
so
it causes a head replacement.
So before he buys.
Yeah. Just Google
Ben, did
or
you
YouTube.
hear that?
Google or YouTube that problem. 5.4-liter Triton spark plug problem. It's
so
huge
if you buy a used engine, you want to make sure that all the spark plugs are removed.
Removable in and out, yep.
Remove them to make sure.
Remove them, they come out. If they come out back and forth, you're good.
Okay, thank you.
Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to call Longmont Ford, see what they have to say. If they'll do anything, maybe they can try to do something at cost. Maybe they can help get an engine at cost. Whatever they can do, if anything. But you know, they may just say, hey, you know, too bad, so sad. If so, then we know. You know, because
Well, I complained to the Better Business Bureau, and that was their response to that complaint was that
But really, think about this. I was going to say, go on and put a review on, because I put a review on a company the other day, and I have mixed reviews about reviews. But Ben, do they deserve a negative review? I don't really know what they did wrong. You see, just because you had bad luck with a vehicle, it's unfair to call that dealer crooked or shady. I mean, we know they're rude, but I mean, really, it's unfair unless we got several complaints like this. It is unfair. Now, I put a bad review up, guys, because I was trying to call this place, and all I got was their voicemail saying, we're away from the phones right now. Leave a message, right? It was then I tried to email. There was no email link. There was, later on he showed me there was one, but it was so hidden. It was so weird. I'm not going to mention the company because they're not a bad company. In fact, I had hired them once to do something and had to cancel it because my deal fell through. And they do epoxy floors. Anyway, I don't have anyone on my referral list that does them. That's why I didn't go to my referral list. So I'm going and shopping, and I very seldom have to shop because I do have a referral list. You would be shocked at how many people don't answer their phones. They don't answer their phones. If the first voice you get is voicemail, you're crazy. Now, people might say, well, Tom, that's what happens when we call your place. I understand that. I'm not in the business, though, of selling stuff. I'm really not. I'm really not. I'm giving away, I'm helping people free. I mean, I have a different model. But I'm talking about when you're selling, when you want to get people, you can't have any barriers. You can't. Even if you had to hire somebody with disabilities to sit at home and answer your phone live and nurture people, don't use voicemail ever as your first point of contact, and always allow for emailing. Always, always, always allow for people to email. It's very important that you have communication and that you allow people to get through to you and always get back to people immediately.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app.
Price per customer is too high to let it go through a voicemail. Are you crazy? Yeah.
Guys, you'd be shocked at how many people. Okay, so I took myself off as an administrator.
I worked for a guy years ago.
I took myself off as an administrator, and I'm going to add a new one. Okay.
And now you're going to put yourself back on a phone call and a chat, and it rings for you.
Do I put name or email? I'm going to put email.
Yeah, a gas station.
Yeah, we have a.
If that works,
we try to go with the first ring. First ring, one time.
303-429-6200. That's 429-6200. Don't miss the trade.
Now, how do I, though, get, when I add, what happens? Like, it's not accepting. There's no, does it doesn't let me, it doesn't let me add on the add button. There's no.
So that's live on.
Wow, it's just lost out.
Yeah, you got to be careful too because it's live. The mics are live.
Yeah, it won't let me put in. How about just put in? Just put in my.
So the whole show, it tapes the whole show.
Yeah. Oh, maybe I need a web. Oh no, I need a website.
Yeah.
And I don't have one.
You're not. Yeah, you got to be.
We haven't said anything yet.
Not yet.
You just add notes.
I just thought of it. Yeah, just now.
Thanks, fellas.
That's why it's not.
Thanks for the heads up.
Because I don't have a website. Now I screwed myself because this was my
luckily we
website.
haven't said anything too bad.
We got another website, don't you? You also.
And that 542 probably be a good idea to check that valve tensioning.
It's a tough motor. I mean, it just is.
You guys know about the spark plug problem on those tracks.
Well, that's what Mark called the two-piece spark plug. And it's like,
two-piece spark plug.
It's not supposed to be, but it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate doing those jobs.
We've had pretty good luck getting them out, though.
You have all kinds of extractors and things.
Yeah, you got a tool to go fishing.
Right. Yeah.
But it's time-consuming as heck.
It is.
Can you just put helical?
Sometimes it can
Well,
take up to 17 hours.
Necessarily damage the threads. It's just the spark plug is this long, and when you go to pull it out, it leaves the stub down in the bottom, and the rest of it
breaks the
comes out.
spark plug in half.
But it doesn't leave a hex or anything you can grab.
It's huge.
So I can't add myself because I don't have
Good idea too, when you're replacing those plugs, is put that anti-seize lubricant back on.
Oh, yeah,
So whoever does it
any
again.
plug. But yeah, it's just that they, you know, all this, you know, doesn't need tune-ups for 150,000. It's just
Gotta change them frequently. 30,000 or so on that engine.
Yeah, I think they say they're good for 100,000.
well, everything. You know, you get lifetime oil or 1-year oil changes now. And it's just especially on these files.
Could you imagine
get sludge built
being
up
a
in those-
do-it-yourselfer on the weekend? You know, hey, honey, it's got 80,000, 90,000 miles on it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, just give me a little bit. Before we go out for the weekend here, let me just throw a set of plugs in this. Guess what? Now you're having the vehicle towed.
Oh, yeah.
You're done.
Oh, here's that law.
Because you come around and you get
Yeah,
a
it
price, it's about
says,
500
so the
bucks
3-second law says that this means that there is no, if there's no hazard.
Hold on.
To proceed.
Every driver or streetcar operator approaching a stop sign at an intersection shall stop his or her vehicle or streetcar at a marked stop line, or if none, then immediately before entering the nearest crosswalk. If none, then immediately before entering the intersection. And shall yield right of way of traffic in the intersection approaching blah, 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 and proceed blah, 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 blah. This means that if there's no hazard, blah, blah, blah.
There's no hazard, you can just go. You can stop and go.
So there's
You
no
kind of roll through.
No, you can't. This means that if there is no hazard to proceed,
Well, this one
as
says-
long as you came to a complete stop, you can legally continue on your way
Without
stopping for a full 3
seconds.
Well, then what's the 3-second rule?
I think if you got a camera on you and you don't want to take it,
hold
stop
on,
for 3
wait a minute.
seconds.
There is no 3 seconds. So this is saying the myth is simply not true. Many police do not have a great deal of traffic training, and there is a myth about this saying the 3 seconds is a myth.
Oh, is it?
That's not the law. Look at it.
I got a section
You
on it.
didn't even read it. It said it's a myth.
I've seen 3 seconds.
It's a myth, they said.
Many
Look at
people
this law.
receive
They're quoting this law saying that many people misinterpret it, and it's a myth. There is no 3-second rule.
I've actually heard the 3-second rule too. I don't know.
I've never heard it. That's why I was shocked.
I heard it from a cop the other day. That was at the.
No, it said that many cops give tickets, and it's a myth, and you have to quote the law, and you only have to come to a complete stop.
And if there's no hazard, you can just
You know
kind of
what?
stop and
I didn't want to hurt my perfect record since I've been born of never being wrong. It would have been the first time. God.
You were just
So
you thought you were
so
wrong.
10 times, 10 times you made that right, and you get notices in the mail?
But you know, it says that
Wow.
many people receive unfair and unjust stop sign tickets when they have obeyed the law completely, actually. So, yeah, I guess.
That's amazing, Tom.
3 seconds seems like a long time.
It is a long time.
You know?
Well, especially when no one's coming.
Well, it says when no one's coming, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just wanted to see if you'd catch that, Tom.
Oh, yeah.
But it came up. You Google 3-second stop sign thing, and it comes up all over the place. Yep, 3 seconds.
So it must be a
Let's
very
type in
common...
4 seconds. 4 seconds.
So you know what Tom needs to do from now on? In his front and rear license plate, he's got to have a little button solenoid.
Those James Bond kind of things,
Yeah,
you
you
know.
just push it. Covers the license plate right
No,
up.
they do have they do have these ones that don't show up on camera. And I heard they were illegal, but that could be another myth. Are they? I mean, but I know that you have to be able to read the license plate. But they have it so if you look at it at an angle or something, you can't read it.
see it.
So the camera can't take it.
I think cameras are getting better, though.
Yeah, this one right by the shop, right on Hamden, and that's right by Corvettes only. They just went out of business. But
Corvettes
those-
only did?
Yeah.
I
But
thought
those-
you were there forever.
Yeah, they went out of business, and it's a car lot now.
Who? You know, I tried to buy a part from Corvettes only.
Corvettes only.
Ever since I've been in business, and I've never been able to buy a part from them. Obviously Corvette parts.
But those lights are flashing all day, taking pictures of cars.
Cha-ching.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So here's one time it was snow. There's probably about a foot of snow out there. And I'm coming up to the light, and the light changes, and I'm like, man, shit.
This is the Troubleshooter Show.
Help! I need somebody.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can. I'm feeling down, and I do appreciate
The longest running morning radio show continually with the same host right here in the United States, and the most prolific show when it comes to results, saving money. Cash, merchandise, exchanges, refund services. I laughed the other day when I heard about Channel 9, they have this thing called Show Us Your Bill. By the way, it's a great segment. But it's done pretty well. They look at your bills, your medical bills, then they go out and they question people about it. And I think they get them reduced. I think that's a great service, by the way. So congratulations to Channel 9. But what I found funny is they were bragging that since the first of the year, they have saved a grand total of like $150,000 for people. And I thought, well, that's pretty cool. And but I should do a promo then, I'm thinking, you know, because I literally have added up my years. I have not had a year under $20 million. Literally. Wow. Literally. If you look at, and we're talking about all the aggregate stuff on and off the air. Now, you may argue with me when it comes to the services part. People say, well, how do you value this? See, when I have an attorney and he gives time to a problem and we solve it, we figure what would the legal fee be on that, and that's how I calculate legal fees. If an accountant helps us, I figure that. When you guys are here helping people, I figure your time. Now, people may say that's not fair, but we are providing services, so that's how I do it. And but still, actual refunds, there's no exaggeration there, you know. But here's another thing: if somebody, for example, if I recovered, like for one woman, she had a life insurance policy on her husband. They were refusing to pay. Now, we didn't actually create that. I think it was a $100,000 policy, but we got it done. So I add $100,000. So I value things based on gross dollars. It doesn't mean I literally, you know, took that money and put it in someone's hand. But I think it's some kind of barometer. That's what counts. And the whole point of it is, there is strength in this show in numbers because we've been doing it for so long, for so many people. And all you have to do is be part of it. Just be part of it. Put pressure when you hear about bad people. Put pressure, give accolades when you hear about good people. Let's reward the good. Let's talk about the bad. Let's get around and spread the word about, you know, where to go and where not to go. And then when you hear advice here that has helped someone, please pass it around so people don't make the same mistakes over and over and over and over, okay?
You can't measure that.
No.
You can't measure
that. And we don't, right.
Right.
But that is a good one. Okay, so as I said, I put a review up the other day because I could not get a hold of a company. I didn't say they're a bad company. I said, the review literally said, tried to get a hold of this company several times and got voicemail, and there's no place to email. First rule of business, you should have no obstacles to entry and make it as easy as possible for people to get a hold of you and never answer with voicemail. And so that's what I did. The guy called me immediately within an hour, and I found that amazing. They know, but I didn't even know how they knew it was me. How did they know it was me? I mean, I did a Yelp review and I did a Google+. Do they show your name? Mm-hmm. They do show your name. I thought they only gave your first name and an initial. But anyway,
the ones I've seen are first and last name.
Okay, well, I think that's good. They should. I think they should, because I think anonymity makes people jerks. So anyway, he called me, and I took it down because he says, Tom, you know, we're busy, blah, 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 blah. And you know what? They're hardworking guys, and they really cared enough to call, and he said, this is really going to hurt us. And I guess they really felt that a review can hurt them. So I took it down because they told me there was an email link. I just didn't see it, and it wasn't marked email. There was a big banner that said free estimates. It was on the page. There was no link. There was no way to know that you're supposed to click on it. And then also, he said why he has the answering machine. And I said, look, you can't do it. You got to get someone to answer that phone. They nurture leads. It's your first contact with someone. Do you realize how important first contact is? Do you know that if people don't feel like they are respected or wanted or greeted, they will put an entire image on your company forever? If you don't get back to someone immediately, within an hour, it is such a bad sign. That's if you can't answer right away. But if someone asks a question and wants you to get back to them or an email, you have to have procedures in place to get back to people. That is one thing we went through on our small biz seminar that we had. Just get back to people, especially with leads and advertising. Never, ever, ever delay, ever. We had a company we did some secret shopping for. You see, when I have sponsors, we literally go out and shop those sponsors. We literally call people who have not purchased. I ask for a lead sheet, and I say, of that lead sheet, how many did not buy? And they said, these. And I said, give them to me. And they didn't understand. They said, well, why don't you want to talk to the customers that we actually served? I said, because they don't tell me anything. And I called each and every customer. Do you know the number one complaint I got? They did not get back to them soon enough. So they went somewhere else. They went there. They visited them. They could not get the quote. They could not get the price quick enough. They went somewhere else. The other one was that, well, it's kind of a bit intangible. But they didn't feel the experience was bland. And I can get into that more. But people, in your business, the important thing is why people are not buying, why you are not closing leads. Not creating leads is one thing. Converting them is another. There's two separate things. In advertising, never try to convert leads, ever. Just get them to call. Do not try to make them customers. Make them phone calls. When they get on the phone, you try to make them customers. Two separate and distinct things. Too many of you advertise and waste money by trying to make people customers on first blush. No. You don't make them customers. That's why I'm a big believer in answering questions, giving free advice, offering free services, so you can get them to know you. If you have any questions on it, give me a call, 303-713-TALK. Again, getting back to reviews, they're good and they're bad because some people use them as blackmail, and I hate when that happens. And some competition, they will slam the competition, and I think that's bad. So, unfortunately, while reviews have a good side, they also have a dark side. Okay, what's going on with Annette? Annette, welcome to the show. What's happening?
Well, a couple of years ago, I know it sounds long, but I've been fighting. I went to Cherry Creek Dodge to buy a new car.
Now, this has happened a couple of years ago, you went?
Yes, and they're gone now.
Who's gone?
Cherry Creek Dodge. Larry Miller bought them out. I didn't know they were going to go under, but...
Cherry Creek Dodge? You mean Doug Moreland doesn't have that shop anymore?
Nope.
Okay, well, in any case, here's the deal. Whether they're gone or not, the point is this was 2 years ago, right?
Right.
What is the problem? Let's get right to the problem, not the story, the problem.
Right. I had purchased a car from them, and come to find out, the salesman put papers under papers, and he made me lease a car. And,
so you thought you were buying, and it's a lease. I'm not. That's going to be a hard one to.
Oh, they've
to
already
get
admitted it. This is what I'll kind of rush it.
Who admitted it?
The dealership.
They admitted what?
It took them a year.
What did they admit?
That the guy Brad Leeton, who was fired.
The guy misled you into leasing when you thought you were purchasing.
And plus, he stole $6,700. That's gone. Nobody knows where that is.
From who?
From me. I traded my car in, and
what?
$6,000 for 2013 Nissan Xterra.
Yeah.
And I traded that in, and through everything, it took 9 weeks to find out. But the lease, I got payments from a lease company, and I called them. I said,
Annette, have you been making your lease payments?
Yes.
Okay. And as far as that car that you traded that did not show up, that's very common on leases, by the way. Never, ever, 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 ever trade a car in on a lease. You will never get credit for it, ever.
No, I didn't want a lease. I wanted to buy
I'm talking to people now. Never trade in a car. It will be evaporated. You will never see a credit for it. There are magic ways to make it disappear. Never trade a car in on a lease, ever. Okay, so that lease and that car, that's in the past. There's really nothing we can do about it. So what's the problem today?
Well, last March.
You said they admitted it. If they admitted it, why didn't they undo the deal?
Well, they were going to. They fired a bunch of people.
Okay, they were going to.
In there.
And then what happened?
They told me they were going to call. The Ally has a tape of them. They were going to pay off the finance, so that would help my credit.
And then what?
$11,000. Then they were going to get me a brand new 2016 SUV.
And you were going to buy. And you were going to buy it.
No, they were going to buy it for me.
So they were going to give you a. They were going to give you a free car for this trouble.
For all this, yes.
Okay, and you have this in writing.
No, but they know about it. I mean,
and that
everybody knows.
And that not everybody. Where is everybody? Give me one name and a phone number right now. I can call and verify.
I've got it right here. Doug.
Okay.
And Cindy Moreland.
Okay, you hold on. Let's call them and ask if they remember promising a car to Annette. Would you get the information, please? Annette, listen, you may have had a bad deal. I'm not going to doubt it. They may have made promises even. I'm not going to doubt it. But without extreme documentation, you don't have anything right now. You really don't have anything. Well, I'll try to help you, but...
Larry H. Miller, by the way, is who bought that.
And it doesn't matter who bought it, because if the other dealership truly is no longer around, neither is any of the promises. Neither are any of the promises, I should say. 303-713-TALK. Speaking off the air, we are speaking of BioT. And one of the things I want to tell you is that BioT is available to men and women because women need testosterone as much as men do. And men convert some of the testosterone to estrogen, so do women, and that's a natural process. If you convert too much to estrogen, there is another pill you can take to balance that out. That's the whole point of BioT. They look at your complete blood work and balance your hormones, not just one or two of them. Don't go to a place that just advertises testosterone. BioT is a complete balancing of hormones. It'll make you feel like $1 million. It's great. BioTmedical.com. It's the most natural delivery system for hormones. It'll keep you young. It'll keep you vibrant, happy, energetic, and it's all natural, or should I say unnatural, because it's really fighting the age process. Shame on me. Go find them. BioTmedical.com.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
The two right lanes remain blocked on westbound I-70 at Vasquez. Crews are still on the scene trying to clean up from that earlier semi-fire from this morning. They could
stretching and stuff, and I thought I was pretty fit. So Stephanie said the other day, why don't you come to one of my classes? And I said, okay, girly class, I'll go. And we do it. No, it was whatever. They have stations, they rotate, and it's a half-hour class. And so you do something with weights on one, and then you stop, you go over, and then you do jumps, and then you do different, like, extensions, and there's just different things at different stations. And pairs go, Stephanie and I, and you all have pairs, you go to each station, and then you guys rotate around the room. And he walks around, keeps you doing it, and then some of them are crunches, some of them are taking a ball and doing the plank, and I swear to God, I thought I was going to die. No, I thought I was going to die. I work out every other day really hard. I do that bar where your legs go straight up, and I do crunch. I do 400 of those, you know, with the knees up and then the legs up, and then on top of that, I do 600 other crunches. But I do them, you know, on the machine or something. But then I don't jump and do other things. Some way, somehow, this kicked my ass because
it's CrossFit.
Oh my God! Because you don't get to settle into a routine. It's just when you're doing these, even though you're doing them. When you do the one thing and you're going down, you kind of settle into it. But this jolts you into doing something else, then something else, and I'm going. And he says 30 seconds to rest. I said, I need 30 days.
Do you want Annette's on?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you want Annette?
Annette with Cherry Creek Dodge.
I want to find out if Doug Moreland remembers this deal.
You know, they still call it Cherry Creek Dodge. It's listed as Cherry Creek Dodge. Larry H. Miller, Cherry Creek Dodge.
Yeah. He sold that dealership 3 times.
Did they?
Yeah.
Is that the place on, what is it, on?
Deal and Doug, right?
Yeah.
I used to jokingly call him Dealing Doug.
Boy, did that guy sell a lot of cars in this town, right?
Yeah, he did.
Got the Batman uniform on.
Now,
Or Superman.
I'm going to tell you something.
Now he's got his nieces and nephews.
For all the fun we make of him, I never got complaints. I mean, I did, but very few complaints about that guy. I swear to God. So I don't know what he was doing, but I didn't get a lot of complaints.
No, I just took care of it. Yeah.
Now I'll tell you what I got complaints about. Oh my God, North Glen Dodge. Holy
Right. I've been here
the
for several.
Fitzgerald family. They were terrible. I mean, they were absolutely terrible. And they lost their dealership. They took it away.
Wow.
That was one of them. Then another one was used to be
Spedding Chevrolet.
Yeah, we got a lot of complaints about Spedding, and then all the old guys too. I used to call Leo Payne in the ass.
Leo Payne. Yeah.
And Doug spending your money, and Dylan Thug, and then who else? There were. But Dylan Thug, I really didn't have problems with him. I used to just joke. Spedding, and who was the other guy that had? Damn, I forgot that I was around when these dealers were just ripping people's heads off.
They're probably the ones on Colfax there too. I forget those guys' names now.
Hey,
years ago,
that commercial is way out of date.
There's a big dealer across from you there.
Well,
I got to figure out how many stem cells are on there that are out of date. That was an old phone number and everything.
Oh,
When I first
What was
came out
that
here,
big Buick dealer? Duncan.
when I first came out here from New York, I worked at Douglas Toyota.
When did you
Yeah.
wait a minute. Where were you in New York again?
Long Island, South Shore,
Long Island.
Montrose, Seaford, Massapequa.
Long Island.
That's right.
It's not Long Island. It's Long Island.
Right.
Oh, Long Island.
Long Island.
Long
It's
Island.
one word. Long Island.
Well, my
Like,
first
forget
job there
about
was
it.
selling cars.
Forget about it is one word. Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Right.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Annette says she had a bad experience with Cherry Creek Dodge. They offered her a brand new truck. They were going to buy it for her. All she had to do was, I don't know. And she says she has proof, not in writing, but somewhere else. Where is your proof, Annette?
I know. Well, there's a tape.
Where is your proof? A tape?
Yeah, Ally Finance Company.
Do they have
has
the
a
tape?
Yes.
And
I have to get
do
a lawyer to get it, to release it.
Why?
I don't know. That's what they said. They won't release it unless I have a
So,
lawyer.
Annette, this lease you still have, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, tell me, what do you want right now? Because you're not going to get what you think. I mean, especially if Cherry Creek Dodge isn't there anymore. You know, without some kind of contract or something, you have a lease and you have a vehicle, and no one's going to listen to you unless we can put together. Daphne, did you call to see if he recalls this deal?
Allie is on the phone with them right now.
Okay. Annette,
And how long is left on the lease anyway?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I told him to take it back. I gave it back when that deal fell through.
When
last
did you give
March.
it back?
I took it back. I told him to come pick it up last March.
Well, did they?
Yes.
Who picked it up?
I guess Ally.
Ally did. That's called a voluntary repossession. That's what that's called. Okay, so where does it... Why did you call today? What triggered the phone call? Something happened. You got notified. No?
I've been working on this by myself, and
Well, what have you been working on? What do you do for a car now?
I don't have one.
Now, wait a minute.
They took everything.
They never came after you for payment.
No, I paid until I paid it. I had to get.
You paid until last March. Then you stopped.
Yeah, I stopped.
Well, when you say last March, do you mean 2015?
I had a. No, what'd you say?
When you 16, did you stop paying in March of 2016 or 2017?
16.
Okay, so a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they've never come after you.
Nope.
That's remarkable.
I've got papers here.
That's remarkable.
Saying you owe $11,000.
Oh, well then they did. Then they did come after you, Annette. Okay, so they're trying to collect from you.
Sure.
Okay, Annette, trust me. I'm going to tell you something. They're gonna get a judgment against you. Your argument is never going to hold up. You have no proof.
Well, there's a tape with that.
Well, you said you have to get an attorney. Do you realize if they want you to pay $11,000, it'll cost you more than that to hire an attorney and go after them?
Well, that's what's on the tape. Is he said what we're going to do for her because of all this stuff that happened, we're going to pay off the loan. How much is it? They have that recorded.
Did you have a name at Allied?
No, they said just call us, and they would, you could just call Allied, but they wouldn't release that.
So if we call Allied and say we're with Annette so and so, and you have a tape, do you truly believe? Now, why were they taping this meeting?
Because they were telling them what they were going to do. She said they always do that. Because
was it on the phone or was it in person?
No, over the phone. And the general manager at that time was named Sam.
Annette, you truly, listen, I do a lot of fighting for people, and this sounds like a lost cause. What are you trying to accomplish right now?
To get what they promised.
You're not going to get it. I just want to be honest with you. Why should I lie to you? I mean, I'll confront them about it. I won't tell them that, I don't think you have anything. I'll go looking for it. But, I mean, you got, this general manager made the promise he's not even there anymore, right?
Right. And I didn't know they were going to sell the company or whatever they did with it. Nobody told me that.
Would Doug Moreland know you by name?
Sure he would.
Oh, Allie, did you just call Doug Moreland? Did you just call him?
Yeah, I tried to, and they sent me to corporate. They knew her name, so.
They knew her name? That's good.
That's good, yeah.
Of course.
We need to talk to someone. Did you go to corporate?
Yeah, I did, and I had to leave a message. The lady was
Just call Doug directly. I think I have his cell phone. Just call him directly. What's that?
I've got his number too.
Did you give
my card?
Did you get the cell phone number? Why didn't you give it to my people?
Well, I didn't know what you needed. There's so much.
All right, listen. Just give them names and numbers of people we can call right now. People that will recall this deal. And I'll look up Doug's phone number here. Here's the deal, man. People, protect yourself, okay? If people make promises to you, protect yourself. I'm looking up his name here. I don't know where it is. I have it somewhere. Anyway, call, will you? Just call if she has a cell number or something.
She's given him
and don't get shuffled off to corporate. Let's just talk to someone who knows about this deal. My God, he'll talk about it. 303-713-8255. Golly. Sam, what's going on with you? Hello, Sam. Sam, goodbye. Okay, 303-713-TALK. John, what's going on with you? John? And goodbye to you, too. All right, 303-713-8255. We do have lines open right now because people were not there. Mary, how about you? Are you there? Okay, now I'm thinking we have a problem with the phone staff. Could you please check them? Because no one seems... Seriously, check the phones, okay? Because people are not answering, and I can't believe all of those people are not there. 303-713-TALK. Give us a call. Let's check out our phones. You can get right through. We are doing cars today, but if you have any other problems, questions, or complaints, you can call us, and that would be fine. That is
when you talk about protecting yourself, these pre-purchase inspections, like in the last few callers that we had, the $180 pre-purchase inspection goes a long way.
Oh, yeah.
People need to do that.
And they'll go to you as well.
So important.
So listen, Daphne, are people on the phone or not? Are they on the phone and just not hearing me or what? Please.
I'm taking a call right now.
No, I'm talking about the other ones that were on. Could you check, please?
I will.
Right now, please. That's the whole point. We need to check people that are on the phones waiting. Line 2, please. See if somebody's there, because people have been waiting a long time. I don't want to hang up on them. We'll take a break.
Dad, when I asked you to check a line, I needed you to check a line when I asked you to. I was on the air dying, okay? Dying. Are they on the line or not? So that's a yes or a no. Is line 2 there or not? Well, it was up Mary or somebody. No, not line 2. Line 2. Whatever it is, get people on the line right now. Get them on the line and ask them to hold. Ask them to hold.
Are they good?
Good at what?
Are they good for diagnosing? Because our company used to do it for
they
the
can tell you
trucks.
some things, yeah.
So should that be more than pre-inspection?
Well,
or they just change
it leans more towards maintenance and then you start getting, because the biggest thing we find with cars like them is sludge. Because the clearances in these VBT solids and all this other stuff are so minute that you get crap up in there.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to get out.
Pre-purchase inspection, this guy that has metal shavings and oil, that would have come up. And he would have not purchased that. I mean, that was a categorical, easy no-brainer.
And our old company used to do those in the trucks. And I just didn't know how long, what the turnaround time
You
is
see,
for that.
what Norse does is like a blotter test.
Oh, he does.
So you can see it on the blotter, but as far as sending the oil out to get
So it's
analyzed,
like a mini oil sample test.
because the oil analysis, you got to send it off.
Right. There you
So
go.
it's
Turn
not
around,
something.
go on.
It could be a week or two.
So on that blotter thing, how long, or what do they test for? Just they got some shavings?
You can see it as it separates. You can see metal shavings, debris, and other stuff.
Now, if they just change the oil, it's probably not going to show.
Well, it's amazing how silly they are, but they don't.
Fresh oil can be a little bit of a sign of caution.
Well, I would think I would change oil. Say, hey, just change oil. Yeah, I mean, just this is
But a pre-purchase inspection guy takes all that into consideration, condition of the vehicle, and the whole thing.
Well, I agree.
Sort of a case.
I
case,
for $180.
Have you seen his report?
And third party. So there's absolutely no. I agree.
I totally agree.
It's a no-brainer.
Because he just updated his reports again. Have you seen his new stuff?
No, I haven't. It's been a few months.
It's 15 pages.
Oh, I know. He
Like screenshots of all the scanner. It's crazy.
Did he make the program himself, or did he buy that something?
I don't know.
You gotta have a pretty good program. And just,
Yeah.
Otherwise, it takes too long to
Why not
put
make
everything
money with
in.
those skills? Can you mow a yard, clean a house, hang a flat screen TV?
We're getting a fair share of roofing company calls, aren't you, Tom?
That's TAKL.
Right about now. Going out.
Oh, man. Excel says they got years report.
And the Tackle app is
Wow.
recruiting providers for
Hey, well, you know, that's stuff up for your apps.
Yeah.
limited time.
That's every house.
It's free
Oh,
to
yeah.
sign up to be a Tackle provider.
And it's big enough that
I
some
couldn't
people
believe
have
it.
leads.
I couldn't believe it. That was brutal. That was
What
scary.
was? That hailstorm.
The hailstorm was scary. I heard it coming. I thought it was like a tornado, really.
Wow.
I was like, what is that?
Well, you guys are facing the other way.
Yeah, we're looking to the west and we're going, what the hell is that sound? And it was just the sheet of hail coming, approaching.
See, one of my customers works west of Sims on Colfax. And she called me. She said, please get my car inside.
Oh, did they?
Sure,
I was gonna ask you that.
We look west, it's like,
So what'd you do? Did you go
well, we pulled hers in right after mine, yeah. Actually, she got it before.
Well, that's happened several times with us at the shop. We have the sale coming down, and I've had customers come in these real fancy cars, say,
There's
hey,
only
listen,
so much room inside.
yeah, I'll give you $100 if you let me pull my car in. Well, we didn't have any room.
Yeah.
And then I've had customers say, not customers, people off the street, pull that car out, let me pull my car in.
You might get in trouble for something like
I
that.
can't do that.
It was difficult because we only have 4 days. We put 8 cars inside.
Sure.
We put 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. But we had to leave a bunch outside, and it was sort of eeny, meeny, miny, well, these cars, I mean, some cars couldn't move because they were disabled. So we didn't have a lot of, options.
I was out in the parking lot when the first ones hit the side of our building, and I still got $4,000 damage to my truck from that pulling it around in.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, I've never seen
so fast.
hail that big.
That'd be a great way to buy a brand new car. It's just pelted with hail.
Hey, if you don't mind what it looks like, you get a great
you
deal.
can just live with it.
Yeah. I mean, somebody that just puts miles and miles on cars, just, wears them out.
Yeah.
A lot of lease take-backs, a lot of people that were financing their cars. And
Man, I can imagine how much that costs some of the insurance companies with all those cars getting pelted in the dealership lots.
Well, especially they're peeling off roofs. I mean, that's a lot of work. They can't replace it. They can't fix it.
looks like we have.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, and Mary, are you there? Mary.
Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
what's happening,
I am.
Mary? What's going on?
Hi. I have a complaint against an auto body shop, and I'm not sure what I can do.
Well, let's talk about it. What is the problem?
A year ago, they did $2,600 worth on a truck.
$2,600 worth of body work, Mary?
No, I'm sorry, mechanical. The truck would not. The truck basically would not start up. We always had to charge it.
What's
And
the
it
name of the
wasn't
shop?
Battery, and Allen's Automotive and Diesel. And then 1 month ago, since it was having the same trouble, we brought it back in. They charged us $600 for an alternator, and in less than
That's in it. Wait. So in addition to the 2,600, you took it back and had an alternator for 600.
And less than 3 weeks later, they were out of business. They didn't tell us they were going out of business.
Well, maybe they didn't know, or they what did it matter anyway? So right now, the way
I can't take my truck back.
the way I see it, you have $3,200 spent, right?
Right.
Okay, and do you have nothing of value for that $3,200, or do you have some?
I have nothing. The truck is still doing the same thing.
No, but that's not what I asked, Mary. I asked for the 2,600, for example. What did they do? Or what were they supposed to do?
Fix the problem where the truck would start.
Okay, and that you still have that problem.
I still have that problem.
Did they say what they did for $2,600?
Yes, and that was a year ago.
I know. What did they say they did?
And I don't have that paperwork in front of me. It did work for a while, and then it continued back to the old way, and that's why we took it back a month ago.
Okay, so that $2,600 did something.
Maybe for a little bit, but then
otherwise, Annette, you were driving it for, my calculations, for like 11 months, so it did something. Mary, I don't know what the problem is with the question. The car, you 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. Let's count to 360 days. You were driving this car, so obviously it was working. Is that right or wrong?
It did work at times, and then it would go back to where we have to charge it every time to start.
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to get. That was happening during that year.
Towards the end of it, correct.
Toward the end of it. Okay, so it was working for some amount of time, and then all of a sudden went back to your original problem.
Correct.
And that original problem was that you needed to charge your battery?
The car would not start, or the truck would not start if it had sat for a day maybe or two.
Okay, so you had to charge it?
Yes, and they checked everything, and then finally this last time said, oh, we know you need an alternator.
Okay, and that's what they charged you $600 for?
Correct.
And did you get a new alternator?
I did, supposedly.
Well, did you? So you don't know if you did. I mean, if they were going out of business, we don't even know if you got a new alternator, right? I mean, did you get it confirmed at all?
Besides, I mean, I guess I could, I don't know, I could have someone look into it. I didn't actually look under the hood.
So right now the truck is still at its original problem.
Correct.
And you spent $3,200.
Seems like a lot of money. What kind of truck is this?
That's what I mean. I don't know what they did.
That's like a lot. 33 grand. What kind of truck is it?
It's a 2006 GMC diesel, 3/4 ton.
Do you have the work orders, Mary?
I do, but not with me. I'm in a car.
Okay. Here's what I'd like to do. Well, first let's go to there will be some good news, but let's go to the bad news. If this guy's out of business, I don't know what you can do about it. I mean...
Well, my question is, can I take him to small claims court if I could track him down?
Of course you could. Of course, but we'd have to...
How do you go about tracking somebody down if they didn't leave a forwarding address? I went through Better Business Bureau. And
we can help you. We can help you. Okay?
Okay.
If you give us a bunch of information, we'll use our private detective to try to do it. If you have any information, but let me caution you on a few things. If it's a corporation, you know...
Private.
So it's not a corporation?
Correct.
Oh, you know that. How do you know that?
Well, I've known this guy for a while.
Okay.
I was in a B&I group with him, so I knew him that way, and that's why I trusted and went with him. Okay, so is this a sole proprietorship? He doesn't have an LLC or a corporation? It might be an LLC. Okay, what we need to figure out is who are you going to go after? Because if you go after him personally, and you spend money, or not money, but I spend money, I spend time trying to find this guy for you, and he's not responsible to you, there's no sense going after him. We need to figure out, based on your invoice or something, You have to do searching on the internet to see if it's an LLC or a corporation or something. Just figure that. We got to figure that out. Who do you go after? Well, if it's an LLC or a corporation and it's out of business, there's no one to go after. If you want to go after him personally, yes, you can take him to small claims court. You can take his corporation. You can take anyone. But the judgment will do you no good if they don't have anything. So to go after him personally would be the right way to go if you think he defrauded you. Then it wouldn't matter if it's a corporation. If you think, like, for example, you didn't get what you paid for, if you literally do not have an alternator, if you literally do not have what he said you had on the on the invoice. So the very first step, take your work invoices and then get them to us. We're going to ask Norris to look at your car to see what has been done. Not a big, extensive, long check. But at SOS Inspections, I'm going to ask him, is it a new alternator? Is it a new spark plugs? Or is it a new battery? Or is it a new this? Or whatever he said he did. Let's determine if you got that stuff or not. Okay? Now, Mary, it may be, the good news is, Norris may find a very simple problem that can be fixed. Okay? The bad news is that you were completely ripped off. Then we go after him. But if we go after him, we have to be careful because it may not be worth it. We'll have to decide that at the time. The very first step, get your work orders together, email them to us, and we'll set up a time with Norris to look at your car.
Okay.
And then if we determine you've been ripped royally, we'll try to help you go after him to the extent we can. You know, it depends on if it's worth it. I mean, we'll have to figure that out. If it turns out that it's minor, my suggestion to you would be just get it fixed.
Okay.
The guy might be an idiot, right? Maybe it's something simple. Okay, give these guys your symptoms, and maybe they can take a stab at it right now. So it drives all right for several days, then all of a sudden it won't crank. Is that right?
That's correct.
Now,
like it has a slow draw on it somewhere.
Like when you turn on the key, does it go?
No, it's totally dead. I mean, there's nothing.
Does it click?
Maybe. I guess there might be a small click, but it's just nothing.
Do the lights come? Do lights come on?
No.
Nothing comes on. No dash lights, no warning lights, nothing.
Yeah, it's pretty strong drain. That truck has 2 batteries.
Now, Bryant actually invented a tool to find drains. Did you know that?
I did not.
It's actually at Lakewood Auto Electric. It's actually on the market right now.
Yep.
I would love to throw that on this truck.
Absolutely.
So first, we get your invoices, and we have Norris see if you got what you paid for, okay? Then second, I would like, and I'd actually like to videotape it, I'd like your car over at Bryant's so we can have that magic machine put on it.
Absolutely.
Okay?
That's what she needs.
Okay.
And then the next step will be, what do we do to fix it, okay?
All right.
So, Daphne, could you mark this as a follow-up and just take that information? First step, Daph, have her email you the invoices. Then we'll get Norris to look at it. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Man, we got a lot to talk about. We're kind of under the gun. And did anyone get through to anyone at Cherry Creek Dodge Organization for Annette? No, not yet? Okay, we can cut Annette loose until we can find someone. She's claiming that she made a deal back there and they were going to buy her a brand new truck, pay off her old car, and just give her a new truck for free. And we're trying to find someone to verify that, if possible. And speaking of used cars, truck, SUVs, and van, let's talk about Rockies, 63rd and Federal. They have a very special deal going on tomorrow. They have a Father's Day event from 10 to 1. Now, listen to this. Listen carefully. You go there at 10 in the morning or 10 to 1, and you go on the lot. They're going to have some drivers and cars, and they're celebrating Father's Day weekend. You spin the prize wheel. When you spin it, you can win tickets to Saturday night's event for Father's Day. It's racing, sponsored by Rockies, or Sunday's monster truck show, and lots of other prizes. So you either get free tickets or other prizes Saturday 10 to 1. And while you're at Rockies at 63rd and Federal, look for a car, truck, SUV, or van and see why so many people are choosing Rockies, at least to be part of their shopping list. If you're shopping around, it just pays to shop, right? Always put them on the list. Remember, 40 lenders to choose from, open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 8.
To do a mobile emission testing back in the day when I was in high school. I had a mobile emission testing van, and I raced the motocross. And it was my motocross van on the weekend, and during the week I would do mobile emission testing. And I used to test John Rothrock and Dave Rothrock.
Dave's the dad.
Dave's the dad. And his son and I, John, used to race together. They were a little hot lot in the corner of 10th and like Federal.
Yeah.
Just a little two big gas station looking thing. And I mean, they took that concept and just knocked it out of the park.
What's the last name?
Rothrock.
What's Rocky?
Rocky. Oh, Rockies. Yeah. What is Rocky? And now they're like a couple city blocks, you know, huge. Or a car place. I mean,
Oh, just where Rocky started and where they're at now. That's amazing.
Only at your local Ford store.
So what is your invention of the drain? So you just hook it up to the ground and the thing and just see if there's any draw? But it doesn't tell you where it's on.
well, it tells you if the vehicle has a drain or not, which is
Pretty deal.
very difficult to assess. And then there's a diagnosing feature that helps you find where it's at.
It's not magic to where it's like, you know, look at the left rear and feel like.
Yeah, exactly. You still have to be a technician.
You have to know what you're doing.
You have to know what you're doing, but it's.
But you can see the size of the
Oh, yeah, I can't.
Oh, really?
So, I mean, you can eliminate circuits. It's just like, well, I mean, this is, you go to the bigger stuff first, and, you know, or something minute, you know, your
It records the information, so you don't have to be present. It does the
That's
test by
the thing I
itself.
like most
You
about
can
it.
hook it up and leave.
Because before you take the negative off and a test light, so you make a circuit so the light's on, okay, I got it wrong, but you're not measuring as the modules are shutting down. So maybe the module shut down in 15 minutes. Are you going to stand there and hold it for 15? What if you held it for 12?
Yeah,
You know,
this will quantify all that, and it'll tell you if it's okay.
So you can leave. Just push the car
Go to
out to the
lunch,
side of the
go to
shop.
lunch and come back and wait for the
There's
result.
some cars that take hours.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's some cars that take 5 minutes.
It'll adapt to the curve that the car has. So that's why you can hook it up on a BMW, you can hook it up on a Ford Fiesta, or on a dual battery system like this truck.
Yeah, look, next week.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's cool. It is. But it's just the start. I mean, it's like a scanner.
Sure.
Pulling codes.
Right.
Well, I'm diagnosing.
It doesn't say
you're pulling codes.
turn signals.
You're just getting started into the project. I mean, it's, yeah.
But like I say, those things are the hardest to find, right?
They're tough, man. As you see, you know, I mean, somebody did $3,000 worth of work and she still has the problem.
That's got to be a pretty big draw.
Yeah.
On hers, it's got to be a pretty
That's a
big
huge,
draw.
but too
I'd like
bad.
to see what the $2,600 bill is. I mean, that's $2,600, that's a lot.
But yeah, for
Parts
sure.
and a lot of work.
For sure.
The guy must
You're
have
sure
done
he was
something
looking
for
at
that.
Yeah, something other than just
Okay. So
I
next
bet.
week,
Right.
I can't.
He's
That, I got
in
terrible
the
news. We have to postpone those flights next week because my stupid, that temp gauge didn't work. I got to take it to the shop on Monday or Tuesday or whatever.
Okay, so which ones?
Okay. On
I
Wednesday,
got
we
it.
had a lot. We had 2 scheduled for Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. We'd
We can
rather
do
it be safe.
We can
than
do the
sorry.
no, I'm out of town the following. So we can the soonest we can do it is the 12th, that same Wednesday, same thing. I'm so sorry. It's such a stupid thing.
Quality roofing. Have we done anything with quality roofing? Does that sound familiar? Colorado Springs? Does it sound like something we've investigated? Doesn't it sound like it?
Tuesday,
I remember it.
They arrested the
yeah,
owners
almost. Tuesday, Wednesday,
Oh,
Thursday.
on fraud charges.
Wow.
Who they arrest?
The owners
Quality
of Quality
Roofing?
Roofing. Doesn't
Here.
it sound familiar?
It
Like
does,
we've done
it does.
something
It's
with
a-
them? I thought maybe if you
One of the TV
search,
stations might have done it.
it's out of Colorado Springs. They did it, and there's.
What's the whole story?
I'll send it to you.
What's the R stand for, Daphne?
Right.
Oh, okay.
My last name.
Doesn't surprise me. You know, some of these temporary roofing people that have come into the state, you know, who knows who they are, who knows what they're doing.
They have that, they have to screw up to get arrested, though.
Yeah, I had a crew do at my mom's house.
Or they got a good district attorney.
Yes, one or the other.
See, that's the.
I had a crew do my mom's roof back home in Long Island.
Long Island.
Super guy. They come out with 7 guys. Okay, he watches the radar for weather, times it out just right. 7
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. Budget A1 Transmission in the house, Sheridan Auto Tech in the house, and also Lakewood Auto Electric in the house. Give us calls with problems, questions, complaints. I'm going to go through these calls rather quickly. I know people have been waiting. Robert, go ahead. What's going on, Robert, in your life?
Hello?
Hey, what's happening, Robert?
Yeah, I have a question about a deed, or a will, rather.
Yes, sir.
For a house.
Yes. A will? No, wait. You just said a will for a house.
Yes.
Okay.
Or,
what do you mean by that?
I've applied for a treasurer's deed for a house because the people didn't pay their taxes.
Okay, so you bought the tax certificate.
Correct.
And you've had it for 3 years.
I've had it for 7 years.
Why? Oh, you could have foreclosed way sooner than this.
Well, it's my experience that you hardly ever get the house on foreclosure. Usually somebody will pay it off. So I let it run to accumulate the interest.
Okay.
But
so now you're foreclosing.
I've applied. I should get the treasurer's deed in September.
Wow. So how much will you get this house for?
$22,000.
What is it worth?
Well, it's a total rehab, so if it's rehabbed, I'm guessing...
Not rehab. What is it worth in its condition, do you think?
$100,000.
Oh, wow. Okay, so what can I do for you, sir?
I have a buyer for the treasurer's deed once I get it.
Oh, you're just going to flip the deed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I already have a buyer, and I'm worried that there's going to be a will pop up somewhere along the line.
Why? Is this part of an estate?
Well, the guy's dead, and we've sent notices to his mailbox, and somebody's picking up the mail, but we don't know who or what the relationship is.
Okay. Okay.
I'm worried that after I sell the property, somebody's going to come up with a valid will.
It doesn't matter once you get the treasurer's deed.
Well, I think that might be problematic, you know.
Well, not if you get a treasurer's deed and title insurance. It won't. Why do you think it's going to be problematic? I mean, to get a treasurer's deed, they have to be pretty well sure there's no one else around.
Yeah, they have to advertise it and all that stuff.
So once you get it, it's been my experience that it's as good as any deed.
Okay, yeah.
Otherwise, people wouldn't buy the certificates.
Doesn't the title company come into play with that, too?
Sure. It'll be title insurance, but I don't understand.
No, there's no title insurance.
Well, there's no title insurance unless you buy title insurance.
Correct, and I understand that some title companies don't like insuring treasurer's deeds.
And some do.
Well, I haven't found any yet, but I keep looking at that.
Okay, I've done it. You can get title insurance. Here's the deal. What are you asking? I don't know what you're asking right now.
Well, I was asking if after I sell the property, this will would pop up and it would be declared a valid will.
Even if it is declared a valid will, so what?
Well, then we'd have to undo the deal.
No, you wouldn't. Who said? Why do you feel you have to undo the deal? You went through a legal process to own that home. Why do you think it has to be undone?
Well, because that would have to be a judgment of the courts, I believe, wouldn't it?
It could be, but I don't know of. Listen, that's like a foreclosure. Let's make believe. Forget about the deed. It's just like any. Let's just say, forget about the tax certificate. Let's say that there was a deed on there. Excuse me, a mortgage on the house. Okay. And somebody doesn't pay the mortgage. If that mortgage company goes through a foreclosure, they're going to get the house. And it doesn't matter if there's a valid deed. I mean, excuse me, a valid will. It's not going to matter. Why do you feel that if somebody has a will and they come forward and say, oh, by the way, that's my house, I inherited it, and then to which I would say, oh, really? And you also didn't pay the taxes. I mean, Robert, you know, you're overthinking this, but let's play the game of doom and gloom. Let's say that you sell the house and somebody comes up with a will, and then the courts undo the deal. Then what?
Well, then I would have to give the sales price back to the buyer, and the person who has the will would have to pay me the back taxes.
And the interest?
Yes.
Yeah, in your world, not in mine, but okay, in your world, then what? So what's the question?
Well, that was the question.
No, you didn't make a question. You declared what was going to happen, and when I told you it wasn't, you said you thought I was wrong, so why did you call? In other words, I'm asking truly, and I'm not trying to be a wisecracker, I'm asking why did you call if you know and you doubt, and I didn't help with that. All I did was told you that is such a snowball's chance in hell that would happen. So, Robert, I'm gonna make you an offer, okay? What is that guy paying you for the deed?
We haven't settled on a price yet.
You haven't even settled on a price? Here's what
my price is going to be $100,000.
Okay, so you're basically selling the house for what it's worth.
Yes.
Okay, then I'm going to withdraw my offer. But I was going to say this. I would find you a buyer that would simply take it and give you total indemnification. But they're not going to do it for $100,000. So you ought to ask this buyer that you have for total indemnification. Total and complete.
Yeah, this is kind of a good-natured couple who want to turn it into a house for disabled veterans.
Oh.
So that's why I'm selling it so cheap.
Well, you said it was worth $100,000. Why is it cheap?
Well, I think it's worth $100,000. It's anybody else, I'd probably sell it for $150,000.
How many square feet is it?
I think it's about 2,500.
Oh, well, you could very well. What general part of the metro area?
It's out of town.
Where?
Idaho Springs.
Okay. Well, that's a toss-up. Anyway, I wish you well on that, Robert, and it's good that you're thinking about them and you care about them. That's a good sign. And if I can help you, give us a call. 303-713-TALK. We got more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show.
Nothing is more important than your health. Hi, I'm Donnie, owner of Fitness Gallery, where we sell the...
Sounds like he has a good deal to me.
Yeah, I don't think that house, well, $2,500, but I don't
Well, let's say
think
it adds $100,000, it's hard to throw it up there, or we said move all there, and then I put it up there.
It's so cold, even in the summer. It's cold. You drive by it, and it's like,
It brings everybody's here and stuff.
26 years.
Did you get a new one?
Carries a lifetime warranty on all parts. Don't waste your money on it.
gosh, I thought that once you got a title tax certificate and you bought it, it's
That's
yours.
but remember, this is the guy, he's worried. He really didn't.
Guaranteed nationwide lowest prices. There's not a better time to invest in your health than now. Two convenient locations in Denver off I-25 and 58th Ave, one block south of the Grizzly Road, or in Highlands Ranch in the Promenade Shopping Center at University and C47. Check us out at bestgallery.com. Jerry's Gallery, in Colorado and
That'd be
Shades.
interesting to get some business
Is Denver's Talk Station. More with Martino after the news.
Our May was kind of slow.
A lot of people said May was...
We had a slow May for some reason, I don't know.
Yeah,
where.
ABC News Radio.
Came out of nowhere.
Kind
of surprised me.
In Massachusetts, a woman has now been convicted in a first of its kind case. Michelle Carter, now 20, convicted of involuntary manslaughter, her words to 18-year-old Conrad Roy, read back in court.
You can only do what you can do.
She encouraged him to kill himself
Start
and
rushing things,
suggested
and
ways
then
to
you
do it. The
get
judge in
who needs that?
Massachusetts this morning.
The court further finds that the Commonwealth has proven beyond a reasonable doubt that said conduct caused the death of Mr.
Nuts.
Roy was later found dead of carbon monoxide poisoning. If you plan to vacation in Cuba,
that's so
might want to book the trip. President Trump is in Miami today. Mark Mayfield reports set to make a few changes.
No, there's
President
obviously,
Obama's policy.
Yeah, what's the deal with that? I saw that on the news this morning before I got down here. Texting or
She
something?
was texting him, trying to convince him to kill himself.
Were they arguing? Is that what it was?
I don't know. You know, carbon monoxide, so when she saw he was actually going through with it, she didn't call anybody to try to get him out.
So she was texting a boyfriend trying to get her boyfriend to commit suicide.
Whatever, you know, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So what do they say? They found her guilty of like
at this hour and say the death toll will
I don't know
likely
what the charge
rise.
would be.
Manslaughter of some kind.
Really? Wow.
Because she wasn't very,
It's taken 46 years,
She's
but
20
John
now.
Lennon's widow is now getting props.
Look at
for
Obama
co-writing
canceling,
an iconic song.
Trump canceling Obama's administration deal with Cuba.
I wonder what that deal is, though.
Imagine the Centennial Award, and also recognizing Yoko Ono.
Well, he's saying he's not going to let
as the
businesses
co-writer of
do
Imagine,
business in
calling it a
Cuba until they
well-deserved
change their policy.
Oh,
Imagine
okay,
was written in 1971. The couple's son, Sean Lennon, says upon hearing the
Man,
news,
people are starving in
his
that
mother
country.
swelled up.
Man.
not as bad as Venezuela.
Venezuela just fell off the table, man. Oh my God, those people are.
They didn't get toilet paper.
That's crazy. You know, it's crazy.
With a high near 90 for Father's Day.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
So bad.
The appearance of your scars with the #1 doctor and pharmacist
Especially a company that's got a lot of oil, too.
Venezuela does?
Well, yeah, but the price just collapsed, so they can't, nobody wants it.
And no, that was, they took a lot of, they sort of nationalized
Nationalize a lot of shit.
Right, so people can say, what the hell would I go there for? Lose it?
Same thing Cuba did back in the 60s, nationalized everything.
Colorado Flat Fee Realty is
That's
a
when
much
they
better
went
rate. On a $400,000 sale, you would save $10,300 with Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Why would you list with anyone else? Call 303-300-9660 or visit ColoradoFlatFeeRealty.com.
That's a t-shirt.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino on 630.
Hey, Hal.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down.
Hi, I'm Tom. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Brought to you by Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. The guy you should call if you want to find a deal or you want to sell your home at the highest possible price. It's amazing how he can do both. He can sell your home for such a great price because he's such a great negotiator. Yet, on the other hand, when it comes to finding you a deal, either way, he can get the most when he's selling. And I don't know how he does it, but when he goes out to buy, he is right in there with the competition, and he is getting you great deals. So anyway, welcome. 303-713-TALK and Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622. 920-1622. Thanks for being here on Car Day. We have a lot of good people here today. And we have Mark Machowski from Budget A1 Transmission and Auto Repair. And he has some cool specials going on you probably heard about. And then we have Kevin Calkin, Sheridan Auto Tech. And then we have Brian Grossi, Lakewood Auto Electric. Hey, did you use your new logo yet there? We haven't done that yet, right? You haven't
No, we're just talking about that right now. We're just trying to find it.
I'm going to, I have to email
I really
to
like
him.
it. It looks good.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful logo. I must say so myself. Whoever designed that's a genius. Anyway, let's take your calls. Now, we can call on cars. That's Car Day, but we can talk about anything you want, too. So let's go to the phones. Chuck has a question on oil viscosity. Go ahead, Chuck.
Hi, Tom. How you guys doing today?
We're doing good today.
This is kind of age-old question, but not. I purchased at an auction. I got several cases of Valvoline 2050 conventional oil, and at the time I bought it very, very cheap, so I didn't have any qualms with it. I've got a couple of older vehicles, mid-90s, high mileage. And the logic I had surrounding the purchase was I should be able to use 2050 motor oil in the summertime in something of that vintage. I didn't feel like the tolerances on bearing journals and everything were so tight that I couldn't use that oil, but I've had a few people tell me otherwise, so I'm just trying to get some confirmation.
Okay, guys, what do you think?
Yeah, I think 90s is still too new. You're looking 60s, to use 2050 in the summer.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The tolerances are quite tight on those.
20-50, that's a multi-visc. It's 20.
It's a racing oil is what we always used to put in the hot rods.
Now, just for people listening, let's not assume everyone knows viscosity. The lower the number, the thinner the oil?
Thinner the oil.
Okay, so a 10 is a thin oil, and then a thick oil would be like a straight 60. Holy crap, would that be thick like syrup, right?
Yep.
Okay, now, multi-visc means, correct me if I'm wrong, multi-visc means like, give me a multi-visc common number, one that you hear.
10W30,
okay,
5W30.
let's say, so let me take a guess. So 10W30, people wonder, well, what is it? Is it a 10 or is it a 30? And let me guess. Is it that when it gets hot, I used to know this, when it gets hot, it's like, it'll never get thinner than a 10 weight, and when it's cold, it will never get thicker than a 30 weight, right? But it'll
pretty close, yeah.
It'll kind of change its viscosity with the weather. What is it actually? Is that what you understood it to mean, Mark? Or
no, I thought the 10W had to do with temperature.
Well, it does. It does.
Yeah, right.
But not the 10. The 10 is the 10 and the 30 are viscous numbers. The W, I don't know what that stands for. I mean
10 weight 30.
10 weight 30. So it acts as a 10 when it needs to, but won't ever get thicker than a 30 or something. Maybe somebody can tell me. But I thought it was something like that. But are you Googling it right now? What does 10W... You know what? Think about this. Think about it. The Internet. It's at our fingertips, for goodness sakes. Chuck, did you have any other specific questions? We took your time, sir.
No, not terribly specific. I did the same thing you did. Jumped on the Internet.
It says the W stands for weight. It stands for weight.
If you read it on the Internet, it says it stands for winter. So
and it says the label multi-visc oil 10W30 or any of the multi-viscosity grades, the oil must conform. Oh, never mind. It doesn't say. But it said in this one it says it stands for weight. But who knows? It doesn't matter. But in any case, multi-visc designations. What do they mean? It goes into a long dissertation here, but I think I was mostly right. The minimum viscosity of 10W oil at 100 degrees is 4. Well, that doesn't make any sense. I thought it was like, okay, that's what it does say. It says mostly, though. It says mostly. It'll never go below 10 or above 30. So
But essentially, the point of the whole thing is that, when you have low tolerances, that you need a thin oil to be able to get in there and protect properly. If you use too thick of an oil,
like racing oils,
yeah, you're going to have an issue if you don't use the appropriate.
So really, thick oil doesn't get into the tiny spaces of
exactly.
The molecules are too big,
and then you're metal to metal, and you find out a week later the hard way: metal shavings and issues. So it's a tricky answer to go against the manufacturer recommendation spec. Yeah.
Okay. So. Any questions? Give us a call. Now, I do want to get to this because, Chris, this broke my heart when I heard this yesterday. We didn't even finish the story. Chris.
Yes, sir.
Let me get this straight. You are moving, you and your girlfriend are moving, and you hired or you put your stuff, everything you owned, into door-to-door pods. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, that's correct.
Now, when did this happen? When did you load everything into door-to-door pods?
I believe the exact date was May 8th or May 10th.
And what was that's okay. Early May. Loaded all your stuff. Now, what were you going to do? What was your plan?
So, Tom, what we are planning is we're using these storage pods to store everything. We're moving from one place to another.
Right.
The other place isn't finished being built yet.
Okay.
So we're staying with my brother.
All right.
For a few weeks,
And everything. How many pods?
We got 2 pretty large pods.
Okay, so you got 2 pods. What happened?
Well, so with this company, it says give us 24 hours notice, and we'll be able to pull your pods down. You can come to the site and access them to get anything you may need during the time that we have the pods on our facility. My girlfriend called to schedule one of these pickups because we literally packed a bag.
Right. So what happened?
Weekend.
What happened?
Well,
this is heartbreaking.
So when she contacted door to door, she found out that the company was no longer in existence, and it directed us to U-Haul. And it was told that U-Haul bought door-to-door pods, and to please contact them with any
so
questions.
you called U-Haul and said, I need to get my pods, and what did they say?
And U-Haul said, all right, yeah, we're aware of this bankruptcy, and we're aware of purchasing this company. Why don't you give us your information? And we did, confirmation number, telephone numbers, that's how they do their cross-check. And after, them doing a cross-check, they said they have absolutely no records of us in the system whatsoever. And, then they say, hold on, we'll transfer you to another person. And you go through the same thing, and they do another check. And, after all these phone conversations, there is not one record of us anywhere in the system. And we've been calling for about almost 2 weeks now, and we get the runaround from U-Haul.
Oh my God! So they have not located your stuff.
They haven't located our stuff. They won't call us back. Basically, I feel like we're at a complete loss, and literally every worldly possession that me and my girlfriend have accumulated over the course of the past 30 years.
Okay.
In those pods.
Now listen, I want to ask you some very important questions. The first one, is there anything in there that cannot be purchased?
Yeah, absolutely.
Give me an idea.
Family heirlooms.
Like what?
My girlfriend's grandmother gave her a set of sterling, a sterling silverware.
Okay.
Plateware set.
Okay, so what else? Do you have photographs?
Years.
Photographs?
I have photographs. My childhood, all my childhood stuff. My girlfriend's childhood stuff. I have firearms that my father's been giving me for the past 10 years.
Okay. All right. So you have a lot of stuff that can't be replaced with money.
Yes,
so,
sir.
What do you have that you don't care about that was in those pods?
Well, I don't know if I don't care about nothing. I care about everything.
I'm not asking, listen, I didn't ask what things are worth or if they have no value.
Yes,
I said,
sir.
What do you not care about? For example, Chris, let me give you an example, because what you said is inaccurate, and I'll prove it. There are probably sheets in there. Now, if somebody gave you money, gave you money to buy new sheets, it wouldn't matter if they were the new sheets or the old ones, or you just can't part with those old sheets. I need to know what in that pod doesn't matter to you. I'm not asking if it has zero value. I'm asking what it doesn't matter to you. I'm trying to get a sense here of what we're going to go after.
Well, at what value do I put, like, my clothes, my wardrobe,
Chris,
all my bedding?
Chris, here, you got to understand the question, okay? I don't care if I have new sheets or the sheets that I put away yesterday. I don't care if I have a new pillowcase. I don't care if the trash can I use for my bathroom is replaced or if I use the original one. I don't care. I'm not asking you to put a value. I am not asking anything about value. I am asking you what you don't care about. You see, for example, these firearms. You don't want someone to go out and buy a handgun. You want the one your dad gave you. For example, you want the silverware that grandma gave to your girlfriend, not new silverware.
I follow.
Okay, I need to know what you don't, that doesn't mean anything to you.
All right, then about half. Like we have a living room set that can be replaced.
Okay, good. So there's a lot of stuff.
Wardrobes.
So there's a lot of stuff that can be replaced with money.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, if you add up all the stuff that can be replaced with money, about what would it cost, do you think? Now to buy replacement stuff without exaggerating.
Ballpark figure, probably around the 20 grand mark.
Okay. All right. Now, as far as the heirlooms, I don't know how to put a price on those. So what does... Now, here's the thing. Do you have a contract with door-to-door?
Yes, sir.
Now, door-to-door pods, you can't go after. They're gone. They're done.
Yeah, there's no way to reach anybody.
What we have to determine, and guys, you can chime in, would U-Haul have a responsibility? I don't think they have a direct responsibility to you, but I don't think they can be reckless. For example, did they inherit other pods, or were you the only one?
No, they assumed the clientele list of door-to-door, and they assumed the contracts.
But they did. How do you know they assumed them?
Because they bought the company door-to-door, and they picked up all the contracts. So
yeah, but that doesn't mean they assumed the liability.
Well, and that's something that I have to speak with somebody from U-Haul that will have to be able to tell me that, but I haven't been able to get anybody on the phone that's going to share some of that information.
Now, do you have at least some phone numbers we can start with?
I do have a lot of numbers.
I don't want a lot. Do you have, like, the closest number you got to that knows about this transfer that was, like, in on it? Like they're in charge of getting people connected to their stuff?
And, I mean, what we've been told is to call and so U-Haul's division now that took over.
That's what I mean. That's what I need. That's what I need, Chris. Hold on a sec, okay? That's what I need. Now, Deputy Dan, you worked on this, right? Deputy Dan, can you grab a mic really quickly? Now, did you talk to anyone at all, Dan? Anyone at all on this? At all? Anyone?
No, not yet. I was waiting for him to be on the radio.
Now, as far as phone numbers, did he give them to you already?
Not yet.
Okay, so we're going to start fresh, and we're going to start with some initial phone calls, because I want to know to what extent they have responsibility. Those pods are somewhere. They didn't just disappear.
Right.
And I need to know what they're going to do to help locate them. So did we get Chris's contracts? Dan, did you get them?
No, we haven't gotten any paperwork
Chris,
from yet.
Man, we got to start right here. We're very quickly. You need to email us your contracts, okay?
I'll get you guys all that information.
All right, hold on.
Today.
Allie, get on the phone with him, please. We need his contracts. We need any phone numbers for U-Haul boxes, and then we're going to start the ball rolling, okay? Hold on. We got a lot to talk about. Let me see here. All right. Ideal Home Loans for your next ideal home loan, 303-867-7000. When I say for your next ideal home loan, I mean it, because they will customize that loan for you, even down to the pricing you pay to get that loan, because that is affected by your credit score, and they can tweak your credit legally and quickly. Just give them a chance. Yeah, you can get approved and they can close you, but they can get you even better rates if not only do you get approved, but you get tweaked. They can also help you, of course, with picking your own term, whatever term you want. 15 years, 18 years, 23 years, you pick it, they'll do it. And the interest rate guarantee, if interest rates go down, they refinance you free of charge. Get what I mean? It is your ideal home loan. 303-867-7000, 867-7000. That's idealhomeloans.com. And we have more coming up.
This report is brought to you by Moderna.
Quite a few slow spots in the highway drive in the metro area. Let's head out west. Westbound I-70 at Lookout Mountain. Looks like that earlier crash involving a motorcycle. To the right shoulder, still some residual backup. But that just heading up into the high country. Get an early start in the weekend.
Gal's asking about oil for a Super Beetle. I just looked it up. I mean, 2050s.
Right.
20W50. 20W50s.
And cold weather on 10:30.
Concrete lift in 30.
Okay, guys, remember, we've got that truck fire cleared out of the way and all the mess is cleared up. The weather forecast, mostly sunny and hot today with a high of 93. Right now, cloudy and 83. 30 and cold.
Fast-absorbing, multi-purpose quick dry oil with a unique blend of botanicals and oils to help improve the look
Concrete lift in 5.
Own your skin. Get new Mederma Quick Dry Oil. It's in the first aid aisle.
You know, when you have concrete on a base of dirt, eventually that dirt can settle and cause voids underneath it, which can cause major problems. Now, if they prepare the soil properly, you don't have those problems. But in Colorado, so many people are discovering cracks and tilting and heaving and sinking. Whatever is happening to your concrete, it may get fixed by concrete lift and stabilization. I mean, there are some cases that are too far gone. There are others where it's just not worth fixing. It's better to just tear it out and reinstall it. But you know what? Before you worry about it, call Devin Johns at Concrete Lift and Stabilization. You know what I like about him? I love the way he does the work to repair it. But even better, his advice, because free of charge, he'll come out and evaluate all of your concrete. He'll say, oh yeah, this needs to be lifted over here. That needs to be filled there. This needs to be torn out. He'll let you know. And then where you do need the lifting and the stabilization, he can do that with either polymers or concrete. It's called polyjacking or mudjacking. Either one he can do. Give him a call for the analysis, the expert analysis, and for a possible solution, because he's the only company that does both. ConcreteLift.com, 720-890-2740. 720-890-2740.
Consumers Real Estate Show. That's right, a real estate show for consumers. All inside information to help you.
The Consumer, every Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. right here on Talk Radio 630 KHAP. The Consumer's Real.
No, I mean,
630 KHAP.
I was reading about
Why wouldn't we just put that with Fuller so we have 3 breaks of 2 each?
There's no charge, 93 or free. If there's
I've done, I just have Art of Granite, Lazara, and Fuller. So let's do Paradigm and even it out. You want to? Or what?
0439. 5620439 or bloodlineservices.com.
Hear about it.
We'll do Paradigm in the third break.
Okay. Thanks.
North Korea replace Obamacare.
Talk about it.
Definitely make it possible.
Hey, Genesis is the beginning. Genesis. And it can be the beginning of your home improvements. Genesis, total exteriors and interiors. Mark Szymanski's the owner. Remember, you hear about home improvement ripoffs all the time on this show. That's why I recommend Genesis for your siding, windows, gutters, painting, fences, decks, kitchens, baths, basements, additions, large and small repairs. Give them a call, 303-679-8509, 679-8509, GenesisTotalExteriors.com. All right. We got a lot happening here, so let's keep going. And I'm going to go in the order you've been in. Lonnie's been waiting a while. Lonnie, welcome to the show. What's going on, Lonnie?
Hey.
Hey, what's happening, man?
I got had my roof done 4 years ago. I got a 5-year warranty on a roof insurance claim.
I hope they're still around.
Yeah, it's Deluxe Roofing up in Littleton.
Now, Deluxe, I've not heard of them, good or bad. So, tell me about it. Are they going to come out and fix it?
No. I got on my garage. I got shingles blowing off, and I called them up.
Lonnie, did it just start acting up?
No, it's been going for a little bit, but now it's getting where it's pretty noticeable.
So when you call them, what do they say?
File another claim with the insurance company.
Wait a minute. They could be right, by the way. I mean, if it's new damage, or is it just a problem with the installation? And the way to know that is to call your insurance and let them check it, or call someone that we know and trust to check it. Except I hesitate to do that because they're not going to get the job, and you know, so here's the deal, Lonnie. Is it most of your roof, some of your roof, a small part of your roof? How much?
It's a small part of the garage roof.
Just a small part. So yeah. It doesn't sound like a new claim to me. It sounds like a warranty issue. It sounds like it. Otherwise, you know, you'd have damage all over. So without even looking, they said that. That's what pisses me off. That without even looking, they said, just file a claim.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
That's exactly what they said. And, you know,
okay. We got to call them. I mean, I want to hear them say that. You have a 5-year warranty. You have that in writing?
Yeah.
And all you want is to know, is this a warranty issue? And they won't even bother coming out.
No.
Then we ought to let people know about Deluxe Roofing. Okay? So, but first, I want you to give the number to us.
It's 720-922-3058.
Okay. 720-922-3058. All I want to ask them, Daff, is on a 5-year warranty. He's not, all he wants to do is have him check it. According to Lonnie, all they said was file a claim. Now, that's unacceptable. I mean, guys, if you had warranty work on a car, you know, and he says we're having a problem, what's the very first thing you say?
Bring it in.
Look at it. Okay, you all said it. Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at it. You don't automatically say no. Even if you suspect this guy abused or did something wrong, you want to get together and show him, right? You don't want to just out of hand say, hey, I heard, you raced that car, forget it. All right. We have some lines open. You can get right through at 303-713-TALK. Lou, what's happening, Lou, with this 2017 CRV? They're nice little cars.
This is the car from hell.
What?
Oh, boy.
I've never heard that about Hondas. What's going on?
Well, I've been a Honda customer for about 25 years, and this is the first time I've ever had these type of consistent, ongoing problems with a brand new vehicle.
Wow. Where'd you buy it?
AutoNation Honda.
Man, you should have gone to Planet Honda. But, okay, now that you made that mistake, not that it matters. I mean, well, it does matter, but I mean, yeah, what is the dealer doing for you?
Well, the problem is I've got about 2,000 miles on the car, and 4 different occasions the car would not start. I have to call Honda Roadside Assistance.
How long have you had the car?
Since March 13th of this year.
And 4 times it happened.
Right. The third time, after I had them come out, the first time I had them jump started.
Well, okay, what I'm going to ask is, when you say it doesn't start, tell us about it.
Okay, it's the push button start.
And what happens?
You have to put your foot on the brake.
Yes.
To initiate it. And typically what happens is, well, first, when you open the car door, all the lights go on. You know, the dome light, that type of stuff. You push on the brake, you push the button, and there's an info center that lights up, and then the car starts. When there's a problem...
Yeah, that's what I need to know. When there's a problem.
When there's a problem, there's either the lights are very dim, or there's no light at all.
The interior lights you're talking about?
Yes, the interior dome lights.
Okay.
And I wasn't paying attention the first couple of times, but the third and fourth time I paid very close attention. The info center came on initially when it didn't start, and then when I tried to start it again, it did not go on at all.
Okay, so really, let's get right down to it.
Yeah, you got to draw. Something's pulling that battery down. No doubt about it.
And they don't know how to find it, do they?
They do not know how to find it. I brought it in dead the third time to Fisher Auto, or Fisher Honda. They said it was a dead cell in the battery. They replaced the battery. But then a month later, just last week, it went dead. You know, it didn't start again. And I had it towed into AutoNation. They did their checks. They said the battery's fine, but they couldn't find anything that's drawing this thing.
And is there anything aftermarket that was installed on this vehicle?
Absolutely nothing. I got 2,000 miles on, well, I shouldn't say absolutely nothing. I have an invisible bra, you know, the clear bra.
Yeah, but no aftermarket alarm, no amplifiers for stereos, no anything like that.
Matter of fact, they asked me if I had one of those Progressive Insurance trackers.
Yep.
I said no.
Why? Does that interfere with a car?
We find drains on cars all the time with those. Yep.
Okay, so what do we do now? What's the next step for this guy?
Well, it's a tough problem because it's such a new vehicle, and it sounds like it's very, very intermittent so far, but it needs to be assessed. You know, somebody needs to take a look at it. We would be glad to do that, to take a look at this vehicle and see if we can come up with anything. That's the
first thing you need to do. Let's check it out over there. If he puts that automatic, you know, that draw machine, boy, I can't believe 2 times today we found where it's useful. You know, Brian, are you making a lot of money on this yet? I mean, have you sold many of them?
We've sold a lot of them, yes.
Because they're made for garages, obviously.
They're made for shops, yeah. Kevin over here.
You own one, Kevin?
We got 2 of them.
What? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's
can I add something?
Yeah.
One of the times, this has an electric emergency brake.
Yeah.
And I was told by Fisher Honda that there's a possibility that the electric emergency brake may be causing a draw. They have not come out with a bulletin yet on it, but they're researching it.
Well, that makes a lot of sense because it's a battery-powered circuit, so that makes a lot of sense.
So then they told me, don't use the emergency brake. I said, well, I got a $30,000 vehicle.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I never use my emergency brake. What's the big deal?
Well,
put it in park.
This time for 40 years, I put it in neutral while it's running. I put the brake on, and then I put it in park, and I shut it off.
Okay, but what I'm asking is,
like putting my seatbelt on.
But Lou, seriously, and I'm not kidding. Just until you get it fixed, try not using the emergency brake. See what happens. I mean, when it's sitting in your garage in park, why do you have the emergency brake on?
I don't want any strain put on the transmission.
There is no strain put on the transmission.
And I think that car...
Hold on. Let's talk to a transmission expert.
If it's on a flat surface, you're fine. But
Mark,
like you said... Yeah,
if it's on if it's on a hill and you put it in park, what's happening inside the transmission?
Well, there's a park paw inside the transmission, which puts a lot of stress on it.
Yeah, and
so
then
like he was saying...
So if you park on a hill regularly, what would you do?
Just like the customer said, he's doing it the right way. You engage the emergency brake.
Yes.
Then you put it in park.
In
so
neutral
what the customer
or park?
said... that he puts it in neutral first, engages the emergency brake, and then puts it in park, and that's fine. And you do the exact opposite when you start the vehicle. You start the vehicle up.
But that's only on a hill.
In gear, right. You put it in gear, then release the emergency brake. But when you're parked on a flat surface, there's no stress on that park paw.
It's just they make it so convenient for the emergency brake now because it's just a button. It's not a lever that you pull up.
I know.
It's just a lot of people use it.
So listen, man, I would say, Lou, get it over to Lakewood Auto Electric. In fact,
let's get an opinion, yeah.
Just
and being that this car's under a factory warranty, Honda should reimburse you the charge from Brian to diagnose.
Well, once you find the problem, they'll fix it, but they should reimburse you. I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah.
Art of Granite is the place to go for countertops and cabinets. You will love not only the selection, you'll love the way they do business, and you'll like Mitch himself, the owner. I've gotten to know him, and Mitch is a hard-working guy that came from Romania, didn't even know the language, knew nothing, and geez, he has such a beautiful business, has model employees, and you will love the work. Here's how they operate. All of the materials for the countertops you buy at wholesale under his account or from him directly, and then he charges for fabrication and installation. He has a small markup on cabinets if you want them direct from the manufacturer. He doesn't charge for the bathroom if you have the kitchen done, and he also doesn't charge for tear out and haul away. He serves the entire metro area and all of the mountain communities. He's open 7 days a week. Give him a call. He'll ask for probably a photo and some rough measurements, and he'll get that price pretty close. Then you just go pick out the stuff, and he'll give you an exact price that won't change. This entire process, 1 to 4 weeks, and you'll be happy. artofgranite.net, 303-386-5919.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
The drive traveling into the high country along westbound I-70 is improving a bit. Westbound I-70 at Lookout Mountain earlier.
The biggest thing I like, though, is the verification. So when you're done, just because you find one draw, one short, you're done or not. I mean, the worst thing you want to do is get the call. Still doing the same thing?
Absolutely.
I hate that call.
You hate that call. You warranty an alternator or a battery. Put a drain test on it real quick. Make sure you see if something's pulling that stuff down. If it passes, you know you're good. Chalk it up to a bad alternator or a bad battery that you purchased. You don't need an A-level tech to hook it up. It's just anybody can.
Oh, no. My Loop Tech does it.
Anybody can do it.
Yeah.
Super easy.
Do you get a printout then?
No printout. No, that's hopefully down the road.
down the road, yeah.
That's all Aaron's asking about.
I'll tell you, the amount of money that it took to make the whole enclosure.
They don't like it, and they want me to change it.
One Bluetooth is what we're thinking, one to the other, and it's in the works.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, because I was
It's
like,
like having another.
did you get the email I sent you about quality roofing?
Just that. Yeah. Just electrical testing.
Because on the
Oh,
diagnostic
nothing, I'm
side,
just
you have
saying,
a
I know
so your
that there's,
phone fuses,
I
you can
really
hear it.
remember the name
They'll
and
tell you where
the
the
name of
draw's
the couple,
at,
Noel.
you pull fuse by fuse,
So-
and that's the circuit. You don't even know what fuse it is. Wow.
So you can be under the dash, as long as you can hear it, it'll go off when you hit the circuit.
5.
Wow. Very cool.
2.8% co-op applies.
Listen up, because people are drinking and driving these summer nights and summer days. They stop after work, and when the days are longer, people feel like they can stay out longer, and DUIs go up. First of all, there's never an excuse for drinking and driving, especially with Lyft and Uber, or get a designated driver. Or, of course, if you're smoking, you know what I mean, weed. That is another big offense that's been happening lately. And none of that has to happen, because what you have now is, of course, you have portable breathalyzers. With marijuana, that's the problem. There is no real way to know. So here's what you do. Get a designated driver. If you're ever stopped, if you're ever violated, if you ever have an accusation and you need to deal with it, Joe Lazara is not going to judge you, okay, even though they're easy to avoid. He'll help you through the system. Sometimes you are flat out innocent. You didn't do it, or they violated your rights. In other cases, you just made some stupid decisions. Whatever it is, Joseph A. Lazara. Now, he can handle this and other crimes as well, and all traffic matters. 303-429-6200. That's Joseph A. Lazara on my referral list at referralist.com.
Trying to decipher what's really going on? Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
I'm having a hard time with
Hey, Century RV is up north on the 119 turnoff, just north of Denver, going to Longmont. Along that frontage road, you're going to see new and used RVs. You're going to see a service center. You can go up there, Century, as in CENTURY, Century as in 100, CentryRV.com. You will love the company. They're good people. 303-453-1111, 453-1111. Okay, let's keep going here and see what we can do for you. So many times we have so many problems that we have to follow up. And if you ever wonder what happened, let us know, okay? Did we call Deluxe Roofing yet for Lonnie? Because we just wanted to put a bug in their ear. I got to get their attention back. Did you guys call? Did you call for Lonnie? She's calling right now? Okay, let's keep going here. 303-713-TALK. Craig has a generator question. Go ahead, Craig.
Yeah, hi, Tom.
Hey, what's happening?
I'm a business, and I need to run 2 tire machines that run off of 240 volt.
Yes.
My question is, on a 7,000 watt diesel generator, could I buy one of those 240 splitters and plug both machines into the 240 outlet?
Interesting question. So you're asking you want to power the 240 with 2 generators, basically.
No, I need to power 2 240 machines with 1 generator.
Oh, okay, 2 240 machines. So what what kind of output does it have on the generator? What do you feed to? Do they have direct outlets that you can plug into?
Yes.
And do they have a 240 there?
They do.
Okay, well, if
the generator has only the 1 outlet for the 240.
I understand that. You can do a splitter so long as the wattage you don't over.
Yeah, it's the amperage.
Yeah, the amperage. Yep. I mean,
Okay.
you don't overdraw it. So what are the amps that you can draw?
I'm not entirely sure yet.
Well, that's all that counts. You find out how many amps your machines take. If they each take 10, you have to have a 20 amp output, because voltage is only part of the equation.
Okay, so as long as my amp doesn't overrule what that
That's right.
What's rated on the generator, right?
That's right. You can split it as much as you want, so long as the amperage, you're not pulling too many amps. Now, normally, you're going to have a protective circuit that'll break down if you go over amperage, but you don't want to chance it, and you don't want to burn out your machine either. Sometimes, if you don't pull enough current on machines, it can be as bad as over voltage.
Okay.
So, do you have an output? Do you know what the output is on your 240?
I'm not sure yet. I'm waiting to hear back from my vendor.
Okay, so if it's let's say it's 240/30, okay, 240/30 amps, right? If it's 30 amps, then you just do the math. Make sure each machine you add them up and they don't go more than 30.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for calling, man. What's going on with you, Rich?
Hi, Tom. I just a long-time listener. I bought solar with your help. I'm gone to Dr. Lisa with your help. I just wanted to let you know I went to the Art of Granite about 3 weeks ago. Met Mitch and Veronica.
Good people.
And found a nice slab on his yard. And a week ago from today, I got beautiful granite countertops, and I'm so happy.
Nice. That is really good. That's a great experience. Thank you. Rich is one of many satisfied customers, though, and I love hearing it. By the way, Rich, I wanted to ask you something. As far as shopping, did you shop around?
For the granite?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. Well, you know what I did? I went to some of the big box stores and got their square footage and all the baloney and everything that they throw on top. Where with Mitch, you know, I got the plumbing, I got the whole 9 yards done. It was done in one day.
Wow.
You know, after they did it.
That's cool. They come in and just installed it in one day.
Yeah, and they had some trouble because my kitchen was kind of screwed up the way the backsplash was and stuff, but there was a good crew of 3 guys, and they whipped it right out.
Can you imagine, though, the nightmare scribing granite? I mean, it's not like wood, you know, or even tile. I mean, when you have to scribe granite, you want to make sure you come pretty close. Of course, a backdrop can help mask some of that, but you still don't want to have, even on the backdrop, you don't want that really thick in some areas and really thin in other areas where it meets the wall. It's a challenge because there's no such thing as a square wall in a house. Ever. Jeff at City Lock has an answer to the lock question. I'm not even sure what the question was. Which one are you talking about, Jeff?
This is regarding a Honda with a no-start intermittent thing.
Oh, good.
The CRV.
This 2017 CRV.
Okay.
What do you think it is?
This is push-button start, right?
Yes.
Okay. There's a chance the person likes to leave the remote in the car. It drains the battery in the remote.
Yes, that is true.
And people have marginal batteries. They come in all the time. They say, one of those doesn't work. We throw a new battery in it, walk back to it, the car recognizes it, and it's ready to go. Now, that doesn't mean this is what's wrong, but we're always looking at issues with proc systems.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. The proximity module, it recognizes that key, and it does cause a load. Yep.
And the little battery in the remote could be low.
Yes.
Well,
that's just one thing in a long list of diagnostics.
That is
That's a perfect place to start.
Exactly. Yeah. We appreciate it. You know, I never thought about the voltage thing. I've never thought about the in general. I want to know how many problems with starting do you think have to do with electric versus fuel supply and air? I mean, it's all over the board, right? But do we see nowadays mostly electrical problems or mostly air fuel problems? Because those are the two main categories, right? Air fuel.
I see mostly mechanical.
The air fuel type.
Yeah.
Then electrical.
It's a lot of mechanical, yeah. Spark and fuel.
Yeah, we see strictly electrical. Go figure.
Nick, a tree fell on your roof. What happened?
So I'll make it quick. The tree fell on the roof, smashed into the vent for the heater, and when I originally bought the house, I thought it was wired with the ironclad. Turns out that wasn't the case. It's knob and tube. So I'm just looking for some advice on which direction. Do I go directly to the insurance company? Do I get a bid from an electrician first?
Knob and tube.
What do you mean knob and tube? I'm confused.
Knob and tube. The old way that they used to wire homes is knob and tube. So you'd keep basically the two wires, the positive and negative, would be separated at a distance. It's
now, are you talking about? Wait a minute. Are you talking about where the service connects to your home?
No, in the attic. It goes to all the lights in the ceiling.
Okay, and so the tree damaged this, right?
Yeah, the tree hit the vent, and the vent pushed through the attic, and then it,
snapped
the knob and tube.
Okay, you may. I mean, is that still meeting code?
No, it's so adequate.
Well, your insurance company may have to bring. You may have to, or you may have to pay, depending on your policy, to bring that all back up to code. I mean, this is a problem because they may not let you fix it the way it was. An electrician may not fix that. He may insist on doing it, to code, and I don't know how far he'd have to go. Is your entire house wired this way?
No, just all the ceiling lights. The rest of the house, when we bought it, looks like they tried to bypass the knob and tube, and they ran the electrical lines basically on the ceiling. It's a guest house. It's an old guest house.
Okay. And you're telling me that the entire ceiling in the attic, there's two wires that go to each fixture, and then there are insulators that come out and they go into the fixture, right?
For the most part, in some sections, that it looks like it's actually bare. In some sections, bare copper.
God.
Wow. Is it? So I think he's saying that he's missing the green wire, the green neutral wire.
I mean,
so they're grounding through the tube.
Yeah. Which is
the conduit. Yeah.
You're not supposed to.
No.
So you got a few problems here. You're going to have an insurance problem. If they find this out, they're going to insist, you do this all over again. This knob and tube, as you call it, it's basically bare wiring going through all of your wood rafters. I mean, they're adjacent to them with the porcelain knobs, right?
Correct. Like I say, when I first bought the house, there's a rat's nest of ironclad up there, so myself and the inspector just made an assumption that no way that knob and tube was live, that the ironclad was what was running the lights.
Nick, I'm going to give you the right answer, maybe not the one you want to hear. That has to be all upgraded, and your insurance will only pay for the damage that was done, and they're not going to pay necessarily for extra unless you have code upgrade riders, okay? If you have code upgrade riders, they will pay for it. If not, you have to pay to have it done and have to have it redone, basically. And unfortunately, this happened because no electrician I know will work on that. And I don't even think they'll go near it until you do the whole thing over.
It's a good thing you found it before you had a big problem.
No, this is like crazy wiring. And the reason they could do it is they didn't have the insulation. They also didn't have the technology. But this kind of wiring is barbaric, to say the least. It's literally barbaric. I don't know why you would even want it. Shoo. Okay. What should I do now? Let's talk about Paradigm Flooring. Paradigm Floors is, well, first of all, Paradigm Interiors is a flooring company mainly, and they say interiors, they do have tile, and they do use it for walls and showers, and it is beautiful. And Paradigm is basically a beautiful store. You ought to stop in. They've done a good job there. They have a big warehouse-looking store, but it's, when I say warehouse-looking, I mean it's high ceilings and it's roomy, it's comfortable, it's well-lit, and around the entire perimeter, and then you have selections of floor coverings, then you have center islands, and then you have private rooms for consultations. You're just going to love this place. When you walk into Paradigm Interiors, you'll be greeted by a design consultant, and they'll walk you around and show you what they have. They'll take notes, and then when you decide what you want, they'll come out to your house and measure. In fact, your very first visit can be someone coming out to measure. Then you can go in and look at selection, or they'll bring samples. It's all up to you. You want to do it all at home? You want to do it all in the store? You want to do some at home and some at the store? Whatever you want, they're going to try to accommodate you. All you have to do is give them a call and start the ball rolling. It's a great company with a a beautiful selection. I mean, they have so many different floor coverings. I love the new luxury vinyl tile. I think that is the hottest thing out there right now because of its value, its beauty, its durability, everything. 14 years in business, yes, and they have been flooring Denver since 2003. 303-630-9204. As you're driving on Evans just west of Santa Fe, you'll take a right there on Pecos. It's on the corner, plenty of parking. 303-630-9204.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
Good news, that earlier wreck on the east.
This is here.
Watch out for a stolen vehicle.
This knob is
How old is that? That term was not.
That's like in the 30s, 40s. Yeah.
Really? I never even heard of it.
Maybe 30.
Yeah, I have a little rental in BU that was built in 19.
You have a picture up there? Is that what you just did?
Yeah, the same, in the attic, it's got the same kind of wiring. I didn't want to go
Scary.
Oh, yeah, I didn't want to go near it.
And a high near 89. Right now, mostly cloudy in Denver and 81.
That's where they give the old clock installation.
Yeah. 6:30 K.
Well, they use that clear through the 60s too.
What is that?
It's silk insulation.
It's fast-absorbing, multi-purpose
The big thing back in the 70s too, when they were wiring houses, they were using aluminum wire coated in copper.
Wow.
Oh, coated in copper?
Coated,
Well, they had big problems with mobile homes. Because when I first got out of college, I bought a mobile home to live in. It was all aluminum wiring.
Wow.
I had to go and replace the grounds because the grounds would loosen up at the socket. And they just kind of like start heating, and you see like the paneling in one room is burning, not flames, but just from the heat. Yeah.
Expands, contracts.
Expands and contracts and loosens the ground on the plugs and the light
Oh
switches.
my God.
So and that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to take all the grounds and stuff and replace. They got to do.
So I went through and pulled them all out. You snip it, put copper on the ground.
There are no upfront fees.
And put it back on.
That's what they're supposed to do in the houses too. All the,
Go up
Because the
again.
wallpaper is turning brown where it's heated up.
7,000. That's 303-695-7000.
Probably said I got an issue here.
Less 182334, regulated by the Division of Real Estate.
So how do you measure damages when you're in an accident, a traffic accident, or you slipped and you fell, or someone hurt you due to their negligence, or a product failed and injured you? Well, you know, that's something that has been an age-old question. How do you evaluate damages? What is it worth? Because that's our system of justice. If you are robbed of anything, time, vacations, love of life, joy, property, you're entitled to be reimbursed. Now, Fuller Law, John Fuller is an expert at assessing damages and collecting them and going after insurance companies or responsible parties who may have enough money to pay. Of course, he doesn't waste your time. That's what I like. He knows how to seek out assets. He knows how to find people who are responsible. But he won't waste your time if he doesn't think you have a case. Really, he's the whole package because there are many areas of law in personal injury, and John Fuller knows them. 303-597-4500. Give him a call if you've ever been injured. Before a long time lapses, you need to know before you lose your rights. Just give him a call. Doesn't mean you're filing a suit. He'll be happy to talk to you. There's never a charge. It's all on contingency. 303-597-4500. 597-4500. PersonalInjuryCO.com is the website. PersonalInjuryCO.com.
I think it is essential for your security and your family's security that we vet anybody coming from anywhere into this country.
Hannity, later today at 1 on Denver's Talk Station, 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. You know, this show and all the breaks lately, it's been getting in the way of my texting. It's very difficult. It's very difficult.
Concentrate and text at the same time.
It's very difficult to do this show and text at the same time, honey. I'm sorry, I can't keep up with it. 303-713-TALK. Okay, now, what? Oh, that's Deluxe Roofing. Called them and they said they couldn't talk to us and hung up. Wait a minute. Who talked to Deluxe Roofing? We're calling to help a customer with a roofing complaint, and they just hung up on us.
They did. I called, and they said, well, I can't talk to you, and we haven't had any calls like that, and I'm going to hang, well, at least they said, I'm going to hang up on you now. And then they hung up.
All right. So, hey, Lonnie, they claim they haven't had any calls from you.
Oh, I've called them a couple times. Last week was the last time I called them.
All right. I want you to call them one more time and say this. I have a warranty on my roof. I just want you to evaluate the damage to see if it's a warranty claim.
All right.
Okay? That's all I want you to say. And then we will take it up a notch. Seriously. If they want to ignore you, we will show them what that means. Because they shouldn't be in business. And I mean that. I mean that sincerely. They should not be in business. Now, that doesn't mean that it's even a warranty issue. But customers should not be ignored. Sue!
Yes.
What's happening?
I'm calling regarding Plumline. I know they're on your referral list.
Yes.
I had the misfortune of a drain backup. Oh, yes. Basement is, well, part of it is underwater.
Right.
Plumline has been here since Wednesday.
Oh.
Right now, they're out in front digging. They've done so far. They went down 9 feet.
They have their own plumbing division, you know. I mean, excuse me, their own drain division.
Right, and they've been sending all these different experts out.
Right, right.
They have finally found the problem. Like yesterday, I had a wonderful gentleman that did the Cameron, and he was here till 8 o'clock last night.
Wow.
He wasn't going to leave until he found the information he needed of where they could come dig today. I am absolutely thrilled with Plumline. They're very customer-centered.
I am so happy that you liked them and that you had a good time. Thank you. That people spread the word about referralist.com. We really mean it. Tony.
Hi, Tom. Thanks for taking my call.
What's happening?
I have an 07 Camry, and it's a V6. I had a code for a ignition coil C and a misfire number 3-cylinder, and that was back in January.
Now, how did you know what the code was?
I had it ran with one of those OD diagnostics tools.
OBD2 tool, yeah.
Yeah, and the gate came back with that code. I replaced the ignition coil and the spark plug, and the code went away. Now that code just came back 2 weeks ago, and I replaced them again.
Listen, you can take it to any one of our guys that would be happy to look at it, but I'll tell you what, if you want to call back, leave your number, okay? Just leave your number right now, and I'll have Marco over here or Kevin call you, okay? Allie, take his number, please, line 1. We're out of time. Save all your problems for me.
Hey, Colorado, if there's one thing you can all get behind, it's a great deal. And this month at Shop BMW, you can take it.
What generator?
Oh, why?
You're just amazing. You're just amazing.
20 in, 20 out.
I know, but Tom.
Oh, you mean about amperage?
Yeah. Nice.
I'm just a big vat of information.
Yes, yes, yes.
It comes in and never goes out. That's the important thing.
It's like, you don't need Brian here, you don't need me, you don't need Kevin, you're just saying.
Oh, no. I don't know that much about cars.
Oh, yes, you do. You're just being humble.
The RVs, remember all the trouble with the generators on the RVs? Overloading the heck out of them.